What's up, Banter fam? Welcome back to the show. I'm your host, Miles, and it is a Sunday. You know what that means. We are degenning today. So degens only. If you are not a degen, please leave right now because we are going to be talking about a lot of small caps, going through some of the narratives that I think are undervalued in this market. And I also have a few things that I want to share with you that I'm buying today. So a few altcoins that have actually hit my buy zones. I want to talk through them. I also want to go through some of the upcoming trends, which I think could perform quite strongly over the next couple months. And of course, we're going to go through the market, do some general market updates on like what's happening with the macro, Bitcoin. I mean, there's just a lot to cover. So if you're new to this series, this Sunday series, basically what I do is every single Sunday afternoon, if you're in Europe, or morning if you're in America, I just hang out with you guys for a few hours. I review your projects live. We research altcoins live. We hopefully try and find 10x gems live on the show. And of course, I also pre-prepare some altcoin research to share with you guys. So it's basically the hub of alpha. And I think it's the show that you probably don't want to miss of all my shows throughout the week. So I really enjoy the Sunday shows. And yeah, it's been awesome since we kicked off that series. Welcome everyone into the chat. I see we got Salem, we got Richard, we have Paul, we have Alex. We have Sidhu, we have Long Mountain. I saw Chaos is in here. He's in here every single week. Crazy. You're in here all the time as well. Welcome, guys. Welcome to the stream. It's going to be a great stream. And also to my Twitter audience, I just did a tweet. So hopefully some of you guys have come across from Twitter. Welcome to the stream. If you haven't watched me on Crypto Banter before, basically this is the place where I live stream every single day. And I do streams on the narratives that I like, talk about the altcoins that, I think are performing, and I go through my plans. I also go through, big events, give you my thoughts on events. So we went through, of course, the Shanghai upgrade in yesterday's show. If you haven't watched that, check that out. So we go through a lot of stuff on the show. So if you're just seeing me for the first time and you're from my Twitter, welcome. Make sure you do subscribe and click that notification bell because, yeah, I upload on here every single day alongside some of the other lovely hosts at Crypto Banter who also have a lot of alpha as well. So I think where we got to start off with is actually on the 1 hourly chart on Bitcoin. So the first thing I want to do, of course, before we get into all the fun stuff, before we get into the alts, before we get into all the degenery, trust me, there will be a lot of degenery later in the show, a lot of small caps, and all that kind of fun stuff. But before we get into all that, I think we need to just establish where we sit in the market, establish how we currently look with Bitcoin, what actually happened last week and heading into the weekend, where Bitcoin essentially became a stable coin. This is honestly some of the most odd price action I have witnessed in the last few months. I mean, we've had some pretty crazy ebbs and flows from this market, but we haven't really seen anything like this, which was basically a 1 hourly candle, which resulted in a 7% sell. So 7% to the downside, touching on major trends, and then essentially consolidation for the next 2 to 3 days. But it's not just consolidation. It is literally like Bitcoin turned into a stable coin for 3 days. It's almost like the market, it's almost like one big seller decided to place one massive sell order, and then the market just couldn't work out whether to be bullish or bearish. So it just decided to go sideways for a few days. And a lot of altcoins as well have basically just been stagnating. So it's been a super weird week of price action. If you are a short-term trader here, I would be pretty inclined to just, sit back and not make too many rash decisions. I do have a few trades I do want to share with you in today's show that I think are looking good, and potential setups that are looking good if we get some volume. But the key thing that we do want to see now is some volume coming in, because not only have we seen Bitcoin coil up and turn into a stable coin, but we've also seen volume coil up and start to diminish alongside Bitcoin as well. So obviously we want to see a little more volume coming in to the market before we make any crazy trades with crazy size or anything. So that's basically what happened over the weekend. Basically nothing much to report there. What happened before then though? Well, Bitcoin did drop for a multitude of reasons. I covered some of the reasons on my thread. Obviously, we've got some pressures from the potential Mt. Gox unlock. We finally got news out of the block, actually, who reported that the Mt. Gox creditors could start to see repayments from March 10th. So that's in 5 days' time. And obviously that will be continuing on until September 30th this year. So that was the first thing that kind of came out and maybe spooked markets a little bit. We also had the Shanghai upgrade, of course, get delayed till April, but that's obviously, a major event for Ethereum that's going to allow redemptions of Ethereum off the Beacon chain. So if you were a validator staking Ethereum on the Beacon chain, you'll now be able to withdraw your ETH. Clearly, that is a bullish catalyst for LSDs, liquid staking derivatives. And with the delay, I only think that gives those projects more time to run. It's actually probably a good thing from that perspective. But from an ETH supply perspective, it's clear that there is going to be some additional sell pressure coming onto the market over the next couple of months as some of those Ethereum are starting to be withdrawn. And of course, some people are going to put some back onto the market. That's just inevitable. However, like the actual price impact, in my opinion, won't be too crazy based on some of the financial models I went through, and you can watch them on yesterday's video, which was a full ETH Shanghai financial breakdown if you want to understand more about the potential exact price impact. But the TLDR of that video, if you haven't watched it, is I think the impact will be minimal, although it's something to keep my eye on. I'm certainly not max longing ETH on leverage at the moment or going too crazy, but I'm still holding my ETH spot positions, of course. That's something I want to accumulate with a very long-term time horizon, and I'm still holding some LSD positions. I'm actually going to add to some of those positions in today's show, and I'll show you which ones I'm actually adding in today's show and why and at what levels I am stocking up. I want to say good morning to the South Africans as well. I'm seeing some South Africans in here, Europeans. I know my stream time isn't usually great for Europe, but hopefully these Sunday streams can make up for some lost time, because this is smack bang in the middle of a nice Sunday afternoon for all the Europeans out there, so we can finally hang out. It's very late for me, but that's all right. It's nice to just hop on and be able to hang out with everyone. It's basically the only time of the week where we can all make it under the same time zone. So those were some of the reasons why Bitcoin dropped. I think Silvergate, of course, was another major one, with the announcement that Silvergate Bank was not only facing DOJ scrutiny, but also posted a $1 billion Q4 2022 loss. So when you're posting billion-dollar losses and you have ties to major crypto platforms and major crypto exchanges, of course, it's going to put some pressure on the crypto market in general. And they are very tied in with USDC as well. They have a lot of USDC holdings. They're one of the major payment processors. So that is going to provide like a slight headwind for crypto. That's probably also what led to the drop, as well as just some general macroeconomic pressures ahead of the CPI data, which we're getting on March 14th. That's going to be a massive date, because that's going to dictate the potential pace of rate hikes. So whether we get a 50 BPS or a 25 BPS in the FOMC, I think it is on March 22nd. So a big macro month to come, but I feel like every month is a big macro month, right? I mean, right now, because the market is so, I guess, on a knife's edge, because it's just extremely hard to predict, given the current inflationary environment with, treasury yields going up, bonds going up, risk assets under a lot of pressure, interest rates rising to combat inflation, which has been slightly stagnant. It is like a pretty turbulent time for the general macroeconomic environment, and therefore you're going to see risk assets just have little periods of where they get a bit scared and sell off, and we're just going to see volatility, and that's just part of the game at the moment. We just have to, I guess, embrace it, although it's going to be annoying at times. It is also going to create opportunity at times for trades, both to the short and long side, and hopefully by the end of this year, things are looking, a lot better, and I am hopeful that can be the case, but I do think there are still turbulent times to come. So these 5 headwinds are probably the reason why the market sold off. Let's actually look where we currently sit, though, to see how Bitcoin is looking from a tier A perspective. I've been pretty clear on my tier A for the last few weeks in terms of how I'm trading Bitcoin, and I'll repeat my general, very basic thesis for you guys that maybe don't watch my regular streams, and that is the 200 MA on the 4 hourly and the daily is basically dictating my tendency to flip long or flip short from a short-term trading perspective. So you guys know my long-term plans. I accumulate quality altcoins long-term. I'm not in crazy spot positions now, but I obviously accumulate Bitcoin and ETH, and I look for undervalued alts, and I get into a lot of the alt rotation games. That's basically how I trade. That is obviously with a smaller percentage of my portfolio. But something else I do is obviously do a tiny bit of day trading, leverage trading, sub 10% of my portfolio, no crazy size, but basically just to keep dollars ticking over so I can make some profits when I see opportunities come up that I can filter back into long-term positions and shorter-term narrative trades and that kind of stuff. So in terms of my short-term trading, or at least, TA on Bitcoin underneath, a 4-hourly to, 1 daily chart per view, I'm seeing right now, since we are underneath the 200 MA, this is a general bearish sign. So I don't really love to long Bitcoin and altcoins. Crazily, I might go in with little longs if a particular altcoin has a nice setup, but I don't crazily have like a super bullish thesis unless we have confluence of being above the 200 MA on the 4-hourly and the daily. Now, on the daily, we are well above, and obviously that is generally bullish. We had that massive break above, and then we tested the new mid-range, and that is a bullish pattern. But then we go into the 4-hourly chart. So as we get into the smaller time frames, in terms of trading on these time frames, it's a little bit turbulent at the moment, considering that we are now below the 200 MA on the 4-hourly. Now, there's another very key level that I'm also looking at, and I'm very wary of, and this is this big yellow line. So you can see this diagonal yellow line here. That is representing the general upwards trend we've been in. We've had multiple touches now, 1, 2, 3, 4, and almost 5 touches yesterday. And this is essentially the current trend that we're in. If we break this yellow line, I do expect downside to the 21.5 level. And of course, you've got that 20K level, which is quite a critical level of support as well. So this yellow line here is very important for Bitcoin to maintain this trend. So if you do want to kind of long Bitcoin, I guess you could at the bottom of this zone. But right now, due to the low amount of volume, it's not like a high probability trade for me. For me to like go in with a more sizable long, and I'm happy to start laddering into maybe some small longs, but for me to go in with like a really sizable position, I need to see some more volume. And what I would actually like, to be honest, is a flip of some of these key horizontal ranges in confluence with a flip of the 200 MA. That would be, for me, although maybe I'm not getting like the best entry possible, that would be a slightly higher risk to reward entry, knowing that we have cleared previous lows. So basically, we need to flip this zone here, and I'll outline it pretty clearly. We need to flip this zone here to start making a bullish continuation pattern. So if we don't make a pattern like this, and we fail to break through this region and get rejected, that's pretty bearish to me. So the bearish scenario would be, we push up to this zone, we get rejected off the 200 MA as well as that key horizontal level, and then we come down and test this key diagonal. And that to me would indicate that is a bearish retest. So the bearish retest scenario is still at play unless we do flip this key zone at the 22.9 level and flip that into support. So that's why I said if you want to take a small long, you can play this roughly 2 to 3% move to the upside for that retest. It's not a high probability trade. For me, I'm waiting to see how we react in this yellow box for any more significant, bigger trades. And of course, this doesn't apply to my long-term holdings. That's completely different. But in terms of short-term trading, I hope that helps you guys understand my general plan and my general thoughts when it comes to this market. Because even though altcoins, a lot of them are writing off their own narratives, and even though they have their own independent catalysts, at the end of the day, Bitcoin still needs to be healthy for them to perform, or at least perform optimally despite how strong some of them may be. So for me, Bitcoin just needs to hold this yellow line. It needs to hold above this 22 level. And ideally, for an ideal bullish scenario where alts can really fly and we get those, 5, 10x's, we're going to need to hold back above that 23K level in this yellow box that I'm outlining here. I hope that makes sense to you guys as well. But I think this will happen next week in the lead up to CPI. I think we're going to get that reaction. So I don't think we'll have to wait too long. I know Bitcoin's behaving like a stable coin now, but just remember it's a Sunday. On Monday, which is tomorrow, we likely see some more volume kicking into the market. And we also likely see a more decisive move on Asian Open, which is in roughly 12 hours from now. So Asian Open is typically the driver behind massive price dumps and pumps. Like this huge red candle was actually Asia. So Asia's just been a really strong leader of market direction at the moment. So the Asian Opens are, if you can, stay up for them, or if you're in a time zone that allows you to be up for the Asian Open, definitely consider watching around that 8 a.m. China time to 10 a.m. China time, those 2 hours. So in Australia, that's roughly 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. Just be alert around that time, because that's often when we get big moves. And maybe if you go to sleep like around that 3-hour period, at least have some like stops set, or maybe some buy orders set, so you're like prepared to go in with a plan. Because yeah, Asia's just been a huge driver of market momentum at the moment, which is actually, I mean, for me, kind of good, because as an Australian, I often felt the FOMO of not being in America, not getting US Open, and then being stuck on the sidelines constantly for like massive trade opportunities. So the pendulum has swung into the Asians' favor if you are a trader, because that's often where we're getting a lot of volume. Like we could see the volume really, really ticked up around that drop, which was, yeah, corresponding with the Asian Open as well. The next chart I want to look at is Ethereum, of course, leader of the alts, and one a lot of people have their eyes on ahead of the Shanghai upgrade, of course, which is totally reasonable, considering that there could be some sell pressure on ETH. I explained that, of course, in yesterday's video. But Ethereum is kind of similar to Bitcoin, where you have this key diagonal. I'm going to make it yellow for you to see it a little easier. That is currently sitting above. And then we also are hovering on the 4-hourly, still below this MA. So Ethereum, the long scenario is actually more clear than Bitcoin. It's basically you get a flip of this key horizontal at 1600 in confluence with a likely breakout of this diagonal trend. It's kind of forming like an elongated flag pattern, as well as the 200 MA. And these three indicators are going to provide, quite a strong level of resistance. But if you flip them, then that is extremely bullish for Ethereum, and that is my long signal confirmation of the break of those indicators. However, of course, this can also work in the opposite way. It doesn't have to be bullish. It means that Ethereum actually has quite a lot of resistance in this zone, and I'll highlight the key resistance zone for you now that we are coming up and approaching. So this zone, potentially, just like Bitcoin having its key zone, could also act as a short zone for Ethereum. So obviously, if it flips and breaks, that's extremely bullish. Alts are going to fly. But if we come up and test this zone and get rejected again, then that could result in a breakdown of this trend. So like a break like this, and then a break to the downside, which would probably see the 1520 level come into play, and that's the next key level. If we break 1520, then honestly, the 218 all-time high, which is at 1400, that starts to now come into our thinking a little bit. And to be honest, that would be very, very, very bad for the market. So what you do want to see is a successful breakout to the upside out of this flag, as well as the break of the 200 MA on Ethereum as well. That would be a condition for me to enter alts with a little bit more size. But of course, once again, if you think gravity is going to take Ethereum up to that range, then there could be a little long opportunity here from 15.7 to 1600. Once again, full disclosure, I'm not like the biggest fan of those trades, because they're not decisive trades. They're kind of like little, I guess, scalping trades, and they're not really like great risk reward. But if you just are desperate for a trade, that would probably be your next trade on a much smaller time frame. But of course, that's going to depend on if you're a trader. I know a lot of you aren't, and for the ones that aren't traders, we're going to get into all the altcoin fun stuff, of course, in this video. I've got alts that I'm accumulating irrespective of price action as well. So I'm not just trading, I'm actively DCing into some quality alts. So of course, we're going to get into all of that stuff later. I just think starting with TA, just to give you guys a bit of market direction and perspective of where we sit, is quite important, just to kind of start framing things before we get into all the degen altcoin kind of stuff. Of course, if you do want to trade, if you are the trader, if you are a trader, like I just mentioned, you can trade on OKX. We have a current promotion right now, which is a $10,000 mystery box if you sign up and deposit $50. So there's a link in the description and also pinned in the comments to OKX. If you click that link, sign up using that link in 2 steps, you can sign up for an account and get a mystery box worth up to $10,000. Probably not going to be $10,000, like full disclosure. Probably going to be something like $0, $5, $10, $20. They usually don't give out max prizes all the time, but there is a chance technically that you could win 10,000 for, if you're an extremely, extremely lucky one out there, that could be on the cards. So yeah, link in the description to OKX if you do want to trade. Now let's get on with some of the rest of the kind of macro updates before we get into the LSD narrative, because that's the next major trend that I do want to give you guys an update on. Before we get into that, I just want to say thank you for everyone that is following my Twitter. I just hit 300k followers. I think I'm on 301 now. Yeah. And I know a lot of you guys probably came over from Twitter to watch this stream since I tweeted. So thank you so much for following me and supporting my content. I mean, I never really thought when I first started making videos in my bedroom that I would be, sitting not only in front of an audience of 600k on Banter, but also 300k on my own Twitter. Like, that's pretty unfathomable. I basically just started my account to share alpha with you guys, share altcoins, just be an idiot degen. And then it just kind of grew and grew and grew as I continued posting threads. So I just want to say thank you to everyone that followed me and supported me on Twitter. The alpha's not going to stop. In fact, I'm more motivated than ever now, really, to put out great content. And I think my mindset with Twitter is shifting a little bit. I've kind of realized I don't need to be the only one sharing alpha on my own Twitter. I could use my platform to share just the general best information on crypto Twitter and the general best information from the smartest minds in the space on my platform. So that's why I started the interview series where I do threads breaking down like people's thoughts, like, 𝗏𝗧𝗵 from Dragonfly, 𝗴𝗏𝗽𝗏𝗍 from Electric, Jose from Delphi, 𝗪𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, like these kind of guys sharing their alpha on my Twitter. So I started doing that. Been doing a lot more retweets of, great content that I see out there just to help give others a platform as well. Of course, I still do my own threads and I'm still posting alpha, but I really just want it to be like the hub of market information, alpha, insight, all that stuff. And that's the goal with my account. So if you're not following me, of course, there's a link in the description. You can also just search up my name, but I'm assuming most of you are, considering, I'm just assuming most of you probably are, because I post there like a madman. So thanks you to everyone for following my Twitter. Ted said I'm pretty smart. Thank you for the comment. Yeah, I guess like smart's a spectrum. I think I know my shit about crypto, probably just because like that's all I really do. Just kind of sit in my room, degen. Like, it's a Sunday night now. We're hanging out with the community. We're degenning, and yeah, that's just what I love. I find it really fun. And yeah, maybe in some other areas of life I'm not so smart, but I guess in the altcoin space, that's kind of where I start to thrive. So yeah, thank you guys. Someone said funny accent. I'm Australian, bro, but my accent's like not too Aussie. Like, you get these really fucking, bloody Aussie accents, but I don't really sound like that at all. I'm much more like mellow, probably because I'm from the city. I'm a city slicker, not a country lad. So yeah, all right, let's keep getting into some of the market news. There's a lot to talk about today. Someone said easy on the eyes. Oh, thank you. I do need a haircut, but I'm glad I'm not looking too horrible, at least in your opinion. Someone said it's 8:45 in the Dominican. Just had breakfast. Good morning. Good morning to everyone in America. Good morning to everyone if you're also in the Dominican. Good morning to, well, I guess good afternoon to Europe, and good night. Actually, in 15 minutes, it'll technically be good morning to all the Aussies out there. It's getting pretty late as well. Someone said still hitting the gym. Yeah, Will, I am. Can you tell? I'm still hitting the gym. But yeah, I actually did a bench press session today. It went up pretty well, bro. I had a good session today. I think I did 4 sets of bench, 80 for 11 times 4. My bench PR is like 107, but I'm just getting back into it because I had a shoulder injury. But yeah, starting to move really nice. I think next week I can probably push. I honestly feel like I could push 90 for 10 again, like pretty soon, for like maybe 4 sets, and then I'll try and push the 100-kilogram mark again sometime in the near future. So bench is really moving nicely. Deadlift not great because my lower back's a little bit sore, but everything else is going pretty well. So thanks for that. Thanks for asking about my gym stuff. Share me your gym plan. All right, let's share the crypto alpha first, and then we can talk about gym stuff a little bit later in the show, of course. This is a research stream. We're gonna get off topic. We're gonna degen. We're gonna do all sorts of stuff. But yeah. Well, I might share my gym plan later in the show after 100 kilograms. Nah, bro. What am I? I'm 87 kilos, but I'm 6'2", so like that's reasonable. Maybe one day I'll be 100, but I hope not. Maybe like mid-90s. I think like 95. I'd be like pretty comfortable there as long as I'm relatively lean. So this is a really interesting graphic. It's been on the screen for the last couple of minutes. And it's something we don't already know. So we have halving charts, and we obviously go through historical Bitcoin charts quite a lot on the shows. But this is a really, really interesting way to visually represent how Bitcoin is impacted by the halving and how Bitcoin generally trades in a positive fashion price-wise over time. So essentially what this graph is it shows the Bitcoin price represented as a spiral. So it starts in the middle, back when Bitcoin first started in 2009, and then it shows its progression over time after every halving. And it lines up the halving on this y-axis here, facing north. And it shows as the green dots the 3 previous halving cycles. And it shows that we're currently 25% of the latest cycle away from the halvening, which is obviously like each cycle's 4 years. The halvening is now like a year away. So like essentially we are 75% to the next halving, and it shows us creeping towards that halving. But we also see the significant price increase that happens leading into the halving, but then also post-halving. So generally, I mean, every single halving we've had, we've seen extreme price expansion. So we saw price expansion, of course, in that first cycle in 2013, then the second green dot here in 2017. We also saw the same thing as we started to clock the like $10,000 mark. And then obviously we saw a continuation of that heading into the next halving, which resulted in the all-time high of 69,000, which we can see over here. And then we did have a dip. So we had an all-time high, then we had a dip, and then they're saying we've put in a bottom. Jury's still out on that, but if you're following previous cycles, then we've just put in a bottom. So the halving is lined up by the green dots. The bottoms are lined up by the red dots. And I just think it's an interesting perspective to look at, because it shows that this is not that different from other cycles. So I am not like those crazy Bitcoin maxi cycle freaks that are like, that think we have to stick to the cycle and like things have to play out like they used to in perpetuity forever, and like it's the 4-year cycle until the end of time. Like, I don't necessarily agree with that. I think if there was bad macro data that came out, the cycles theory goes to shit. Or if there was amazing macro data that came out, we could hit all-time highs before the halving. Like, I don't necessarily think we stick to it, but I think there is a little bit of psychology at play when it comes to these cycles that tends to alter how investors approach the market. And inevitably, it's kind of like a self-fulfilling prophecy. So even though like the halving in and of itself may not mean as much these days, because everyone like expects something to happen around the halving, it ends up kind of playing out because everyone expects something to happen around the halving. So look, take it with a grain of salt. I just think it's interesting to contextualize where we sit and come to the conclusion that we are still like on track basically with every other cycle to, in the next 25% or the next year, significantly increase in price and then kick off what will be over the next year, quite strong price performance. BitBoy said the cycle theory might be broken. We don't know. In fact, there's really nothing to tell us that it is. There's not much evidence to suggest that it is, because the percentage drawdown versus previous cycles is pretty comparable, around 80%, 70%, but other cycles have been between 75 and 80%. The duration, around 424 days of bear market, is it's slightly longer than 2017, but relatively in line with 2017 and 2013. So, and also like the bottom also lines up with the 2-month period where other bottoms have lined up if you take FTX as a market bottom. So I don't think the cycle theory is broken, but I'm not averse to the possibility of that being the case soon. Because I'm not one of these crazy cycle believers that's going to like worship this cycle even when it starts breaking. Like, nah, the cycle will happen, the cycle will happen. I'm not like that. I think macro is by far the more important prerequisite here to bullish price action. But I just, anyway, thought it was a very interesting graph to show you nonetheless. Because like basically what I mean by macro, without like just giving you nonsense word salad, is all these other cycles happen during periods of monetary expansion. So quantitative easing, aka, the Fed is printing money. All these other cycles happen during money printing periods. This current cycle or this current period is actually in the midst of quantitative tightening. So they're contracting the money supply. In fact, if I can show you the M2 money supply, this will make it a lot clearer. And it'll show you how the Fed is actually tapering. Colgate said, I like your honesty, giving people wholesome advice. Yeah, bro, this is what this stream's all about. I mean, I'm always honest, but these streams are literally just like, you can get into my brain a little bit. You can ask questions. We can hang out. We can discuss alts. We can degen. I could be blunt if I want to be blunt. and just chill on a Sunday. That's like, yeah, really what it's about. So I really enjoy it. And it may be advice, but it's not financial advice. Disclaimer. Someone said USD in trouble. Yeah, there are some. Yeah, there are some worrying. There are some worrying things about that, Kelvin. But I think the first thing we need to look at is the money supply. You never miss a Sunday live streams. Awesome. Yeah, I think they're really cool. I need to have my coffee as well, so I can stay awake because it's like 12 a.m. and hopefully I can stay up late. By the way, you know, before I get into like this monetary explanation about the US debt scenario and M2, I want to, like, in the spirit of being honest, my camera needs to focus. Come on, focus, camera. Focus, 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 focus. Why are you focusing? Freaking hell. All right, that is really annoying me. But anyway. Oh, there we go. Okay, great. That was like super annoying. So in the spirit of honesty, I want to explain my night last night. So I was at the poker tables. I was and this is just like an anecdote to show you that you can make it all back. Like, this is just an anecdote to show you that, you know, you can make it all back if you have the right mindset. I was at the poker tables, got absolutely I don't know. I got big stack bullied at the casino. I don't know. I'm not the best poker player, but I think I'm okay. So I like tried my luck a little bit. Lost a couple thousand, so didn't like have a great night. Then went to the baccarat tables. Baccarat is like a fun. I don't know if you guys play it. It's kind of like it's like the Chinese blackjack, I guess. Like, not the most eloquent explanation, but essentially it's like, you know, just a card game that you bet on. Put like 500 on a hand, won. Then put 1,000 on a hand, won, and then made like my $2,000 back, and then I broke even. So the lesson from that really truthful story is that you can always make it all back. You know, you just got to gamble. You just got to back yourself. And no matter what trials and tribulations you're facing, you can make it all back if you're a complete degen. But I obviously don't condone gambling. I don't know. To be honest, we're all gamblers. We're in crypto. Let's just be honest with each other for a second. We're all inherently gamblers in this space. At least, like, I'm a huge gambler. And that's, I guess, the beauty of crypto. It gives us a place where we can gamble with the house edge. Because with the casino, you don't have the house edge. They have a 1 to 5% edge on, unless you're playing poker, then I guess the edge is your skill. But like on the card games and stuff, that they have an edge. At least in crypto, we can create an edge. And I essentially guess like that's how you become profitable over time. You are first to information. You're first to act on information. If you have your ear to the ground, you get intel that is far superior and is lagging to other market participants. And then if you act on that correctly with the correct like risk parameters, then you are like creating your own edge through different methods. And I have some research methods, some of which I'll share today later in the show when we go through alts. Some of those research methods are how I create my personal edge. So I don't know, that kind of like a bit of a casino ramble, but you want to go to the casino with me? Sure. Next time I'm at the casino, I'll let you know. But I'm in Melbourne, so I go to Crown. But yeah, if I'm like internationally, yeah, I'm pretty fun to follow at the casino because I'm just reckless. For me, it's like if I'm there, I'm either walking out with a shit ton of cash or I'm walking out with nothing. It's like all or nothing for me at the casino. I don't want to win $500. I don't want to win $1,000. Either I win like 5 figures or like I lose it all. Yesterday was a rare exception where I was just happy to make my money back, and I wasn't gonna I'd spent like 4 hours to go like all down and then make it all back. So I was like, I'm tired. I'm not gonna stay here to try and make more. So I left it. But typically I would like strive to walk out there like significantly richer. Exactly. All in or all out. You got to go all in. You got to go all in. And that's, I guess, maybe not from a financial sense, because I'm not all in crypto. In fact, crypto is like sub 40% of my like overall net worth, probably even less than that. I'm being conservative because I'm not even factoring in cash. So it doesn't apply to the financial situation, but in terms of my mental situation, so my mental investment in hobbies, crypto is like all in for me. Like it consumes, my brain consumes the majority of my time, And I think to be successful, you need to not only invest money, of course, but you need to invest like significant amounts of time. And I guess that's, time capital is a genuine factor. Like there's a value in everyone's time. So let's go through this M2 thing that I was supposed to talk about before I got distracted. And you'll notice in these shows I get distracted a lot because they're not planned, they're not scripted. It's just me rambling and researching, which is the fun and the charm of the show, I guess. But it's not like my normal shows where I have like a strict script or like agenda that I'm trying to follow. So the M2 money supply shows like the total amount of money basically in the US. Now there's something shocking that happened in 2020, and that was the pandemic, and the money supply essentially like basically doubled in the space of like a year, which is freaking crazy. So you can see like the expansion period throughout history. Well, not all of history because there has been periods of QT, but essentially like currency is debased throughout an extended period of time. And we saw that debasement significantly tick up in its growth or severity in 2020, which was the pandemic. They need to print money to get out of the hole. And now we're starting to see us taper. So the reason I'm showing you this is because, like, alluding back to the the halving cycle theory that we talked about before, things are very different now because in 2009 when Bitcoin was invented or like first launched, because I think the white paper was, or the idea was around 2008. Back when Bitcoin first launched, basically until like the third cycle, it was like full on QE. Like there was sustained QE throughout 2011 until 2019, and then like extremely rampant QE during 2020, 2021. And it's not only until now that we're seeing tapering. Bitcoin's never experienced this. Bitcoin has not survived as an asset during a quantitative tightening environment. And I think this is the number one argument to dispel theories like this, although they look great, and I would love to believe it to be the case. Just trust me, I'd love it, because that would mean like we're rich next year. Or like even sooner, we're like rich in 6 months if we look at this. The thing that makes me dispel that slightly, or at least have a feeling that the cycle theory could be disproven, is the fact that we now are in a different environment, and Bitcoin has to deal with a different set of circumstances that it's never had to deal with before. Now, long term, I believe that Bitcoin separates itself from being a risk asset. I think this could take 10 years plus, but I think eventually it's going to act as a form of hard money, especially for impoverished nations that need a genuine currency solution, that are struggling with like hyperinflation. Bitcoin is like a great tool, a great store of value tool. And especially long term, considering that the trend with money printing is clear, it's going to keep happening. Bitcoin long term is a great hedge against that. It's not an inflation hedge yet. It hasn't proven itself to be a successful inflation hedge, because Bitcoin only really thrives in low interest rate environments. It doesn't thrive in high interest rate environments. So when you get high inflation, high interest, Bitcoin doesn't protect you like gold or maybe commodities would. Bitcoin only really works in high inflation, low interest environments, which is like, or like even like low inflation, low interest environments. It needs low interest. It basically trades like a tech stock, right? Because when the world is starved for yield, when you have low interest rates, you can't earn as much on bonds, right? You can't earn as much in alternative investments. So like when you're starved for yield, you got to look for opportunities to make money. And obviously with tech stocks being priced higher, things like Bitcoin, other risk assets get priced higher because low interest rates are positive for those companies. They can grow quicker, they can borrow money cheaper, they can expand quicker. They just in general are favored in that kind of environment. So Bitcoin will thrive in a low interest rate environment, but in a higher interest rate environment like we're seeing at the moment, as they're trying to like combat in inflation, Bitcoin starts to just struggle a little bit more. So we're not there yet. Bitcoin is not an inflation hedge. It is a store of value. We're not quite there yet where I think the full use case has really kicked in, but I think we're eventually going to get to that point. So essentially that is my thesis on Bitcoin long term. I'm extremely bullish. I'm much more bullish on ETH because I think there's genuine network effect being exhibited there that is superior to Bitcoin, and it's just far more scalable. It's more of like an upside play. I think ETH, yes, higher chance of failing, but more higher upside. And also I think eventually we're going to see like a cringy terminology incoming, but some sort of supply shock at some point for Ethereum, considering the significant impact the merge has had on Ethereum's issuance. And like, I just think a huge bull run would trigger insane deflation for Ethereum. I mean, we've already seen it over the last few weeks. Deflation kicking into the sub 45,000 ETH region. What happens in a bull run? Like, if this happens just because of the Blur airdrop and because of the slight uptick we've seen in prices, I mean, in a fully fledged bull market, what happens to ETH? I mean, there is going to be some sort of supply crunch at some point. So ETH is like a fantastic asset, probably slightly better than Bitcoin for that reason, in terms from an investment perspective. But I really think long term, Bitcoin has a very unique purpose that it can fulfill in the global economy, which is why I'm hesitant to hold like a substantially larger amount of Ethereum than Bitcoin. Like, yeah, my ETH holdings are bigger than Bitcoin, but I wouldn't go anything more than like 60-40, maybe 70-30, but I wouldn't go too much higher than that because I still see very clearly the purpose of Bitcoin, which is why like I still hold a decent amount of Bitcoin. But that's not as high as it probably will be later in the year when I really ramp up accumulation. And yeah, we'll start getting into some alts now because I think we need to start degenning. This is a degen show and a research show, and yeah, we've got to start getting into some alts. So the first discussion I want to have is around LSDs. We've talked about Ethereum. We've talked about the Shanghai upgrade. Yesterday's show did a much more like comprehensive overview of what that upgrade may entail. But considering the upgrade is now on the horizon for early April, I think some of these LSDs are going to be very valid plays, especially if we get this kind of resumption of a bullish trend from Bitcoin or ETH. Now, I'm not saying we will because we can reject and go lower, and that would suck, and even LSDs will struggle there. But if we do get a resumption to the upside, or even if we make, I don't know, like a new range above the MA, 200 MA, I will be a lot more comfortable in alts. And overall, if I think about the strongest narratives in that scenario, then I think it's going to be LSDs. And even like without super crazy like bullish Bitcoin ETH price action, even if we kind of just hover here and do some stablecoin bullcrap, I still think like LSDs have enough relative strength to like outperform. So I'm actually buying at the moment small amounts of LSD protocols. Now, obviously not financial advice. That's just what I'm doing. You got to do your own thing. But let me just show you what I'm seeing on my charts, and then you can make your own decisions. Lido is the major driver behind this narrative. I want to just quickly explain what my thesis behind LSDs is. My thesis is when Bitcoin withdrawals go live, when Shanghai goes live and you can withdraw from the ETH beacon chain, people that locked their Ethereum 2 years ago and were forced or basically only had the option of locking in a validator, now, due to the boom of LSDs, have the option of now staking in liquid staking protocols and getting all the capital efficiency benefits that come with LSDs. So you've got the capital efficiency benefit of being able to stake it and earn yield on it in other DeFi protocols. You've got the benefit of being able to put it up as collateral and earning or borrowing against it to earn more. So that's capital efficient if you want to like hedge against a position, or there's another opportunity and you need capital to access that opportunity, and then you can like leverage against your ETH. So all that stuff, all that fun stuff that you get through liquid staking, a lot of these guys missed out on it that stake their ETH in validators, and they're now going to be, a lot of them are going to be withdrawing their ETH from the validators. And if they want to restake, are they going to do it in a validator again? So they're going to keep it in there? Or are some people going to pull out and decide, no, I'd rather be in Lido because I can earn extra yield and I have shit that I can now do with this staked ETH. I think a lot of them are going to move to Lido. So I think we're going to see a huge uptick in liquid staking ratios. And as a result, I think for the month of March, liquid staking derivatives are still the strongest narrative to be in. And I think even post Shanghai, I want to be in some. Now, there could be a sell-off. There could be a buy the rumor, sell the news situation. I think with the delay, there's probably like maybe a few weeks extra now of kind of runway here. But I still want to be in some sort of position come Shanghai. So what positions would I be in? Well, I think Lido. And this isn't crazy like exposure, by the way. It's like 1% portfolio exposure per protocol. It's not crazy, but just, giving you an idea of risk. You got to define your own risk, but that's kind of how I'm structuring things. And that's in my altcoin portfolio, not my like long-term portfolio. So yeah, you've got Lido, you've got Frax, and you've got Rocket Pool. I like all of them. I think honestly, spreading across all of them, Anchor included, and there's another one. I don't know much about it, but 𝗏𝗍𝗶𝗍𝗍 likes FIS. This is like an interesting trend as well. Those are probably the 3 or 4 that I look at, and I'd probably just spread it across all of them because you can probably weight a little bit higher towards your favorites. Like I like Frax personally. I just have like a bias towards Frax. I think it's in the best buy zone versus Lido, which probably has like a tiny bit of work to do for me to like be very interested. Like it ideally would need to flip this 2.8 region into support, and that would be like a bullish retest of the 200 MA. Someone asked about my Wi-Fi. It's really raining tonight, Steve. It's like thunderstorms outside and crazy storms. So if my Wi-Fi just starts cutting out a bit, I'm sorry. It's not a super normal night on the internet front, just due to the weather. Nothing I can really do about it for now. It's pretty crazy. If you're in Melbourne as well, you're probably, I don't know, depending on where you are, fair bit of crazy weather outside, which is weird because it's like technically a week after summer, but like basically like it was 30 degrees today, super hot. So that is Melbourne weather for you. Hot one day, rainy that same night. It's pretty crazy. It's like 4 seasons in one day, basically. So yeah, I would wait for like a bullish retest, flip of that 200 MA, and then I start to see like a much more obvious bullish scenario for Lido. So I like this scenario on Lido. Just look at this trend, guys. Like we see an upwards parallel channel, very clear range being defined. Like we can see it's been moving in this range. It tested the bottom of the range. If it comes up to test the top of the range, that's like a push up to the 3-4 region, which is a 20% move. And then obviously you can start breaking these 2 key levels here, which is the parallel channel as well as the horizontal, which was the previous high. So, I mean, it's a great chart. The Lido chart looks better than almost any altcoin chart in the market, which is why someone said double top. It would start looking like a double top if we broke down below here and started going into this range. That would be 100% like, I'd be like, yeah, shit, this isn't good. But that's not what's happened. So far, we're still in the channel. So I'm not super worried about like a double top for now. I just think it's like super strong narrative. But Frax, if you're going to buy anything today, and obviously not financial advice, but personally, I'm looking at this chart, and I think it's extremely interesting because you've essentially got Frax now touching the support of the 9.5 region. And from a pure TA perspective, I mean, this buying the bottom of this range basically for the last 12 times has been a great thing to do. You never would have regretted buying 9.5 to 9.6 like the last 10 times. So, of course, it can break. Like, it can. I'm not telling you it can't just because it's happened 11 times before, but like if you're going to play the odds here, these aren't bad odds to play in terms of buying this zone. Now, if you're buying with leverage, set your stop below the previous wick at like 9.3 to 9.4. But I wouldn't go. I'm not buying leverage here. This is me accumulating LSDs for my spot altcoin rotation bags. That is what I'm doing. I may stack a little bit of leverage if Bitcoin looks nice. So if Bitcoin exhibits this trend that we want to see, this bullish trend, then I will stack a little bit of leverage, Frax, leverage Lido, leverage Rocket Pool. I don't know if I can open leverage Rocket Pool, but definitely leverage Frax. Just because that scratches my degen itch of being able to make more money, basically. But like in terms of like my more sizable positions, dollar-wise, it's mostly spot. And this is a decent spot zone for me to buy Frax. And spot means you don't get freaking wrecked. So if you do get wicked, and if we do this, you're not like so worried. Because yeah, you'll get another chance to sell as we kind of have that bearish retest, get out for break even, and not have to worry about getting liquidated and being forced to lose money. So that's the beauty of spot trading. And honestly, recently, I've started to fall in love with spot trading again because it's just like so much. I can actually sleep at night. I don't know. It's just like a nice feeling trading spot positions. I guess the only downside of spot is risk. You have to outlay more to make the same amount. So major misconception about leverage trading is people think you leverage trade for the sake of gambling. People think you leverage trade for the sake of just being greedy and trying to make like 10x what you normally make. That's false. You leverage trade so you can outlay less capital, so you have capital to outlay elsewhere. It's literally an efficiency play. It has nothing to do with taking on more risk. But that's how investors treat it. So that's why it ends up becoming a big gamble. But it shouldn't be. Like, in theory, like, let's say you want to put $10,000 into Frax, right? In theory, opening a position on 10x leverage would mean you can put in 10x less the amount, have that 9K spare, and still get the entry you want to get with the same size you want to get it with. That's why you use leverage. It's like basically risk management. Do you microdose your LSD? Nah, I macrodose. Bro. I macrodose. Nepal says bullish on Link. Let's have a look at Link. So anyway, this is my Frax chart. If you do want to trade Frax, spot, leverage, whatever, floats your boat. There is a promotion right now to sign up for Bybit and get a $30,000 sign-up bonus, or BitGet to get an $8,000 sign-up bonus. So if you want to trade any of the altcoins I talked about today, you can sign up for either a Bybit or a BitGet account using the link in the description and get yourself a nice sign-up bonus whilst you do it. So links in the description if you want to trade. Also, obviously, supports me making content as well, which is much appreciated. So yeah, if you want to trade, you can use those links. You've also got the OKX link as well for the mystery box promo. And yeah, just, I don't know, it really depends what exchange you like to use, but we've got options in the description, all with nice bonuses for you. So that's obviously your choice, how much leverage you use, all that stuff. Not forcing anyone to trade leverage, not forcing anyone to trade something that they don't want to trade. I'm just giving you my setups and giving you my links. That's the gist of it. Always implement risk management. Yes, shrooms. Macrodose guaranteed funky times. I does magic mushrooms. Oh my goodness. I think everyone's high in the comments. Nepal. I want to go back to Nepal. He said bullish on Link. And then I want to get to my Twitter, because I know there's some Twitter guys in here that are probably let's actually look. There are some Twitter guys that are probably dropping their altcoin suggestions. Yeah, lots of alts. Oh, 76 comments, all with alts. So at the end, we're going to go through some of these. A lot of shilling as well. But, some probably genuine good stuff. And we'll just go through and, I'll give my opinion on some of it. How many Twitter guys are here, though? Let's have a look. 268 of you. I don't know if you're all still here, but hi, all 268 Twitter folk. I'm seeing a few people. When you see, one token be shilled 50 times in my Twitter, I often think it's either bots or I get Twitter rated on Discord. That's kind of what I think. All right, Link Nepal. I wonder if I have a better Link chart. I don't know which Link chart is my actual chart. I think it's this one. Let's see. Link. Link looks pretty similar to a lot of other alts. You've got that. Yeah, it looks very, very similar. You have this. So you've got to be ultra bullish Link, from a trading perspective, you want to see a flip of this region. And Nepal, let me know if you agree with me, but this is the region I'm seeing as super important. Because that is, and we can even draw it here. That is your 730 level, which is your key horizontal. That stems back from a while ago, where it's, yeah, that's the low of September, pre-ETH merge pump. So you got that level, that key level to break, and that was a level of resistance and support as well at times recently. And that is also coinciding with this 200 MA on the 4 hourly. So this is the level that you want to break if you're Link to go super bullish. But of course, you've also got this support, right? That this diagonal support that I am looking at as a key level to hold. And then obviously, if we break, then I'll be shorting it, basically. So I'm not a huge fan of shorting in crypto, but if obviously we start to break, then I'll I'll look at a short. Because this can happen. It can happen. It can break down. It doesn't have to keep going up. It doesn't have to. It can, but we got two scenarios here. That's my long scenario. I'll probably more interested in longing on the flip here. Once again, maybe a small long up to that region if you want, more risky, and then flip short on the break. I know 𝗏𝗄𝗃's a bit of a bear, so maybe you're looking at that downward scenario. Someone wants to know what I think of Hex. I don't like Hex. So I didn't call it a straight up Ponzi. I called it, it just kind of is a Ponzi. Like, I don't know. I don't like the word Ponzi scheme in crypto because Ponzi often implies like some like deliberate intent to like scam and deceive and like, I don't know. It's a very strong word, but it does have Ponzi / pyramid-esque tokenomics. That's like my opinion on it. It's like basically you lock up. It's a pyramid scheme basically, but with like artificial like fee mechanisms to like help plump up early holders like yields. But like eventually, and also the way it's marketed is like almost a pure scam. Like actually look at Hex. And this is just the way it's marketed. And I know I'm gonna get shit for this because I don't know. The Hex community's passionate and everyone's just tribal in crypto, but like. If you're a genuine, like, amazing project, why do you need all of these, like, it looks like a salesman's website. It looks like like an e-commerce store, like 𝗏𝗏𝗍𝗍𝗍esque. Like, looks like it's trying to sell you a course. Hex in 113 seconds. And then, like, all these, like, Q&As, like, Hex has extremely low inflation. Hex is more secure than Bitcoin. Hex has 100% uptime. Hex is unstoppable. Like, almost making claims that, like, are almost misleading, to be honest. So when a website like has all of these like weird life-changing wealth creation, comes with extreme price volatility, and then you go into its website and it says like 3+ years of flawless operation, mint your own rewards with no middleman, mining Hex doesn't require any electricity. So far, the Hex price went up 9,481%. It's like, what other what other altcoin in the market needs to promote itself with how much it's X'd? If I go into Ethereum.com, do you think it says, so far, Ethereum is up 10,528%. Holders have made this much money. It's like, no, just like the whole premise of Hex revolves around making money. And when the whole premise of a project revolves around making money and not providing utility first, I'm just not that interested. Mechanism design is so important in crypto. It has to be product first, so usability first, fits a general market need first, actually does something that people like, provides a service that people or a product people want to use first, and then the secondary side effect of that should be revenue generation. And yes, you could use some of that revenue to pay back to holders, and that's a good thing. That's like what staking is. That's great. I love staking. Staking's cool. Love DeFi. But like this doesn't really tick part A. It kind of just skips straight to part B. And if someone could explain what the utility is, I'd love to know. But I actually have researched this, and I'm sorry to tell you, it doesn't have much. And that's, once again, not me just shitting on Hex, saying like I hated it, shit. Like you can invest in it if you want. Seriously, if you want to put money in, I'm not going to hate you. In fact, crypto is speculation. It may 10x, it may 100x, it may freaking pump because it's crypto. And I would never short this thing because you can't short most cryptos long term with a lot of confidence. But in terms of like me validating the fundamentals, they don't tick boxes that I like to tick before I invest. It's a personal decision. So thanks to the people that said I said it well. I'm sure this is going to end up on Twitter and I'm going to get shit for it because that's just what happens whenever I talk about Hex. I don't know. Hex will be Hex. Hex will be Hex. Okay, so what I want to do now is start dropping some alpha bombs on you. I've already like shared a lot of shit, but so we've gone through LSDs, we've gone through my market view, we've gone through some trades, we've gone through M2. Next is solidly forks. I want to talk about this as a potential bullish narrative. Then I have a guest that I want to bring back on the show that joined the last show. And I told him, I'll tell him to join in 20 mins. Actually, no, I'll tell him to join in 15 mins. Okay, he's going to be joining in 15 minutes to share some alpha with us. So that'll be cool. Thanks, Josh, for saying you're enjoying the stream. I just saw that message. And I'm getting some other messages from the research group. We do have some alpha coming in live as well. I want to get this up on my screen. We have a live research group that feeds me research live to give you guys alpha live over these next couple hours. So that's super cool. Let me get this up on screen, and we're going to go through this, of course, in a moment, because that is awesome. And I also have, to be honest, I got a lot of alpha. You see all these CoinGecko tabs? A lot of, and we got this alpha list I want to break through. I want to break it down, sorry. Yeah, so solidly first, I want to talk about the forks, then special guest, then alpha. We've got some stuff in the Fantom ecosystem, and also some stuff in the BSC ecosystem I want to touch on. So lots to share. Let's get straight into it. So, and then I'll answer questions, because I know I did a tweet that said, give me your, let's just get this up. Researching altcoins live on stream. I will get into all of those at the end as well. That's how we'll end. We'll end with basically me taking your suggestions from the comments, research from the, I guess suggestions from the thread, and then we'll go through that at the end. So that's our rundown. Let me know if you like the rundown. I think there's a lot to come. Someone said annoying when people keep saying alpha. There's not really a great synonym. This is one of the many problems of the limited crypto vocabulary. There's not a great like for like synonym to alpha. Basically, what people and myself are trying to convey when we say alpha is just information that can give you an advantage over others. That's basically all it is. It's information that can be construed as superior to other information. And that's subjective. So what's alpha to me might not be alpha to you. I guess it is getting overused. But we don't really have another term. So if someone thinks of another term, then yeah. Someone said misleading title. Absolutely freaking false. Absolutely false. Not at all. Because I'm literally going to tell you a sector that could 10x right now. And in a few, also LSDs, there's shit in that ecosystem that can 10x. But okay, let's just take that out of the picture. Some of the altcoins I'll be talking about later also can 10x. Now, it's not misleading when that's literally what we're talking about. We're degenning. We're talking about degen small caps that can 10x. I have a small cap later that's a few $1 million market cap. I don't even hold a position in it, full disclosure, and I'll get to that later. That could 10x. It's only a few million market cap. It's not misleading at all. It's a degen show. It's what it is. It's just so far we've had to talk about the market because a lot's happened in the market over the last week. I can't just jump straight in and say, oh, this is why I like this 2 million coin. It's no, that's crazy. We have to be smart here. We have to go macro and then go micro. You have to start big and then go small. You can't start small. Anything can 10x. I agree. Anything can theoretically 10x, and it's a cop-out saying it can 10x because freaking, I don't know. Anything can 10x. Any random coin can. But what I'm saying is I believe that some of these coins have a higher chance of 10xing than others. If you're going to run percentages, probabilities, that's what I'm talking about. Sectors that could perform well. Title isn't yeah, exactly. If we were trying to make a title that conveyed everything I'm saying in this show, it would be 1 million characters long. What would the title be? Bitcoin update, Ethereum update, LSD update, altcoin alpha, next 10x gems, Fantom update, perp DEX update. Your head would explode. It would be so long. Your head would explode. Also, I think people need to understand, side note, just before we get into the solidly forks, I think people need to understand that this is a YouTube game. Let's be honest with each other here. You have to play into the algo. I'm sorry. You have, the thumbnails and the titles, they're deliberately slightly more exaggerated than maybe the content's ever going to be. Because that's just the reality of YouTube. You have to do it. If I did a video that said research, altcoin research with Miles, it wouldn't get views. It just wouldn't. And that sucks. And I understand you guys might love more credible titles or tiles. But to be honest, the YouTube game isn't like Twitter. You gotta play the freaking game. And all I can hope is that my content has enough alpha in it to back up the titles and the thumbnails. And I believe that's the case, so I'm fine. But I think if you're just clickbaiting and then you've got shit content, then yeah, stuff you. If you're going to say, yeah, if you've got shit content like most of the crypto YouTubers out there, then I agree. But I believe that Banter has fantastic content. I believe my show has fantastic content. So, I mean, I could put anything I damn want in the title. Gotta back it up with the alpha. Why are we wasting time in the comments? I agree. Let's get into Solidly. So, Andre said it himself. Solidly was the greatest piece of tech he ever made. Unfortunately, the greatest piece of tech he ever made resulted in also the greatest hype dump we've ever seen. Like, it's unfortunate what happened to the price of Solidly itself after Andre took a break. That's the unfortunate part, and that was obviously well intended with the macroeconomic shift, which resulted in like basically every crypto dropping. But the underlying technology of Solidly was so good that we are now seeing a resurgence. And it's not just a little resurgence of like a couple forks coming out and, you know, trying to copy Andre and making short-term cash. No, we're actually seeing in practice proof that the efficiency benefits that Andre's AMM gives you makes it a genuine competitor to other DEXs and a genuinely superior model in terms of how you structure tokenomics of like a governance token on an AMM. So I am really into the Solidly forks right now. I'm investing in them. They're small caps. It's degen. Some of them can 10x. Some of them can freaking rug. It's degen. I know. But that's the whole point of the show. This is a degen show. I'm sorry. If you don't like it, leave. It's a degen show. If you want me to talk about Bitcoin and Ethereum and Binance, those days are over now. We're degening now. That's what's happening. If we're here for it, we're here for it. But that's what's happening. So Solidly has like proven itself to like not just be a fad, but be a thing that I think the market is now understanding is great. And Andre obviously had conviction in this from the beginning because he said like it's the greatest protocol he ever created. And I believe this to be the case. I've been playing around with some of the Solidly forks. It's remarkable. Some of the yields on these forks is remarkable. Some of the price performance of these forks is remarkable. And the only way you're going to understand what I'm talking about is if you use them. Swap on them, provide LPs, get involved with DeFi. How I learned about DeFi, how I got good at DeFi was just by doing it. I think everyone's so focused on like theoreticals when in reality, getting your hands dirty and experimenting with this stuff is like how you learn. That is literally how you're going to learn. Trial by fire. And I know a lot of you already have kind of gone through that fire last year and you're in DeFi and stuff, but I wouldn't just like quit now because maybe you had some bad LPs that, you know, you lost some money on because of impermanent loss when the price is dumped. I would stick at it and actually start testing new stuff because there's massive improvements in this sector. So one of the ways I would action getting dirty to give you guys some actionable info is Velodrome. Shout out to Drake on Digital. He gave me the idea behind this logic and it was really smart. And it's Velodrome's like on Optimism, by the way. Optimism's super like hot right now after Coinbase announced they're like utilizing Optimism's SDK. And yeah, Optimism in general is just really, really, really like popping off. And not only price-wise, but transaction-wise, address-wise. Velodrome being one of the biggest DEXs on Optimism is obviously has a lot of hype, but it gives us an interesting look into some of the altcoins you can invest into piggyback off that hype. Because Optimism's run a lot. I think some of the biggest gains now are going to come from the eco. Miles is the DeFi maestro back in business. Absolutely. We're taking it way back. I'm getting way back into DeFi. It's good. It's fun. I'm loving it again. And it's because I think while the market was scared, what happened last year was a lot of projects were building, but they were too scared to launch in a shitty market. What we're now seeing is those projects that may have just been building last year are actually now starting to launch. So the boring year last year has now resulted in like this huge DeFi boom. We've had all these crazy, amazing DEXs launch. We've had like crazy DeFi, like AMMs and all sorts of like different protocols launching and like NFT marketplace and all this stuff in the past few months. And it's been a resurgence. It's like a little DeFi boom. And I think you can't sit on the sidelines and ignore what's going on here. And I've got a guest in a second that's going to join us and show us some of the best yields that you can look for. But it's like a little boom. So now's the time to get interested in this stuff again. Nepal said, any update on Arbitrum airdrop? Arbitrum airdrop, they're not updating us. I talked about this on my spaces last week. It's a bit of an unknown. It's got to be soon. It's got to be within the next couple of months. If they don't do it, it'll just be like a huge negative for the eco. But frick, I'm so thirsty. I could drink like 5 more bottles and my bottles run out. When the guest comes on, I'm gonna get more water because I don't know. I'm so ridiculously thirsty. I love water, by the way. Best drink on the planet. In fact, smash the likes in this video if you think water is the best drink on the planet. Yeah, it's all you need. Don't need alcohol. Don't need Coke. Just drink water. It's that simple. But nice filtered refrigerated water, not just tap water. I've got a nice, lovely filter, cold, clean, tasty water. Nothing better. All right. Okay. So the alpha is look through Velodrome. Look at the pools that are paying super high APRs. And do some digging into some of these small caps. So Velodrome is giving us like a bit of a peek into the optimism ecosystem. But because it's heating up, and we can see this because the general growth has been insane, plus 96% TVL in the last month. Because it's heating up, I think there are decent investment opportunities within the alts that are in the LPs. So if you click on APR, search by like the strongest APRs, you're going to see some of these altcoins. So you've got Ring, you've got Lyra, you've got SLM, you've got some of these weird ones. Like you obviously like wrapped ETH and stuff's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like the optimism specific stuff. VELO. Let's keep going through here. We're trying to look for the ecosystem projects, right? With the biggest APR pools that people are going to deposit into. And obviously in conjunction with that, you want to look at the amount in the pool. So if it's just like 1 ETH, don't enter the pool. Don't look at the pool. You want it to have like a decent amount of liquidity in it. And you can look at the TVL of each pool, little side hack, by clicking on DeFi Llama and going through the individual statistics. So you can look at that and you can look at the breakdowns as well. So, it's raining a shit ton outside as well. So go through and find some of the optimism altcoins that are paying high yields, because these, in my opinion, are going to be, well, not all of them, but some of them good investments. Now, this is the starting point. Velodrome will give you access to potential alpha. Your job after you find some of these altcoins is to dig deeper. So, okay, you see Ring is in one of these pools. Dig deeper on Ring. Find out what it does. Find out what it's used for. Look at the tokenomics, right? You see. This is a super small pool. I wouldn't look at this. You want to make sure the total pool amount's good. The next one is like Sunny. Not Sunny Aggregator. I have nightmares about Sunny Aggregator. That's one of my worst ever investments. Well, it was amazing until it dumped. But Sunny, obviously that's got like over $1 million worth of Sunny in USDC, like paired to 2 mil. Look at that. Like, just do some more research on it. I'm not. This could be a rug for all I know, but I'm just saying, like, this is the starting point to start researching some of these ecosystem alts. Look at obviously VELO's the Velodrome token, so that's obviously something to look at. HND, 100 Finance. Like, just look at the big pools with the big APRs. Look into the optimism ecosystem more, and it's gonna find you some alpha. Dig deeper on Ring. Wasn't expected to hear this today. I like One Ring, to be honest with you. I don't own it, but I like it, and the team's good. The team's good. Caroline's filling her jug of water. And I had a few people agreed with me that water is the best. A few other people, someone said coffee. I like coffee. In fact, I have a nice coffee here that I'm drinking to keep me awake. And someone else said Portuguese wine is the best drink in the world. Well, I mean, I love a great red wine with my steak. I'll be honest. But I don't know. I'm on a huge water wave at the moment. God gave water. Amen. So this is like my Velodrome alpha. Look into the OP ecosystem. You're going to find some gems here. OP's hot. This is how you source gems. Use DeFi yourself. And actually, some of these pools are interesting. So if you find a gem that you like and you're happy to like deal with the impermanent loss, you can look for some decent yields in some of these projects. The solidly forks are home to the best yields in crypto. And I'm like putting a percentage of my portfolio into solidly fork yields, because I think there's still room for these to run. Now, in light of the solidly forks, there's a new one that's launching soon, who are also a show sponsor. If you look in the top right, Satin Exchange. Shout out to Satin for sponsoring the show. They're launching a fantastic project. And of course, just because they're sponsoring doesn't mean I'm going to change my opinion. I'll give you my honest opinion on the project, what I like, what I don't like. This is something we're going to dig deeper into over the next few weeks, over the ecosystem. But I want to introduce you to them today and like explain what it is, and obviously give you my honest opinion. So Satin Exchange is a solidly fork launching, but it's not just a fork. Like, they've made like a lot of improvements on the base solidly protocol, like a lot of UI improvements, efficiency improvements, tokenomics improvements that make it like a more effective flywheel. It's on Polygon, so it's basically the first big one to launch on Polygon. So we've had Velodrome launch on OP, we've had 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗍 launch on Fantom, but we haven't really seen great ones on Polygon until now. So obviously the Matic ecosystem's huge. This, I think, is going to be an awesome one that I'm looking forward to. Of course, they may go cross-chain in the future as well. So they aren't currently launched yet, but I want to like give you a run through like what they're doing. I think this thread actually did one of the best jobs of summing it up. Essentially, I'll read through this thread, which will give you an idea, and then we'll look at like how to actually get involved. And look forward to like their release and what's going on. So the VE33, aka like solidly type model narrative, is hot recently, and there's a project that's launching soon that you don't want to miss. Satin Exchange. It's far more than just a solidly fork, a thread. In this thread, he's going to go over the mechanism. So what is Satin Exchange? It's a DEX that provides efficient token swaps and deep liquidity for stablecoins and other assets. So what you got to understand is at the core of Solidly as a project, it is essentially a DEX. So all these like fancy tokenomics and flywheels and vote escrow and all this sort of stuff, that is all great, but it all aims to tie into what the underlying function of these exchanges are, and that is to provide an efficient place to swap assets. And essentially, that is the crux of it all. But obviously, there's a lot of stuff you can stack on top to make it better and a better experience and better for holders as well. So it's built on top of a groundwork laid out by Solidly V33 in the addition of certain unique features. So it integrates a yield-bearing stablecoin called Cash, where Cash is the base token in most pairs. So it's a stable coin, but you can earn yield on it, essentially, is what it does. So instead of locking a single token, Satin, VE Satin, so Vote Escrow Satin, which is their governance token, is a pair of LP formed by Satin and Cash. You can buy back Satin Cash from the treasury and build POL. Cash mechanism is a 100% collateralized stable index coin, which is backed by USDT, USDC, and DAI. So it's a fully backed stable coin, but it's yield bearing as well. So you can put it in pools. You can stake it in a pool and earn additional yield on it. It's the main utility token of the Satin Exchange. It's unique. So basically, like they're taking the idea from Solidly, but they're integrating a stablecoin. The collaterals will be controlled under the Cash investment treasury and are deposited into battle tested strategies on chain. You can always check the portfolio status from the official Discord. The rewards will be distributed to Cash holders through a rebase mechanism. Numbers of cash held in wallet will increase over time. So essentially, the more revenue the protocol generates, the more the cash holders will make. So they'll get paid out like in cash, which is like a stable coin equivalent, basically. At first, the collateral ratio of cash is 100%, and it will increase over time. So at face value, you might think this is a bad thing, having like a 0.25% mint and a redemption fee. But I view it as a good thing because, sure, you're paying a little bit of fees. Like maybe you're trading some efficiency, but you're getting revenue generation for cash holders. So overall, I think it's smart to have a minting and redemption fee. This will keep ensuring that it's like positive revenue generating. 5% of cash rebase is retained for the investment. 10% of the trading fees go to the treasury. So like 10% of all trading fees. That's like a decent amount. Could be more, could be less, but it's at least like a noticeable amount that will go back to the treasury. So it's essentially a mechanism flywheel. Cash increase in efficiency over time. Yield increases, obviously, as the capital goes up for farming each cash. Increase in auto bribes. TVL increases, increased cash rebases. So it's like a bit of a flywheel if this can like actually like take off and get some serious adoption. So this is the tokenomics of the actual Satin token, which is the token of the exchange. And this is just like a full breakdown for you guys to understand what it is. And we'll go further into actually using the protocol later. But I do think it is like one of the more innovative solidly forks that have come out. And that's why we partnered with them as an official show sponsor, because it's going to be a great DEX to use. And I want you guys to understand how it actually works, right? So they've got a max supply of 25 billion. 20% goes to the team, 14% to pre-sale, and the airdrop. We're going to get into how to get an airdrop soon, by the way. 66% to the community, weekly emissions decay 2%. So this is the split. Objectively, not bad. Like pretty common distribution there of Satin, which is their governance token. So you'll have a Satin Cash LP, where you can LP Satin, their token, and the Cash token to earn yield. Longer lock time, higher voting power. So more voting power means like more bribes, more money. Obviously that, there's a liquidity trade-off when you do that. So that's something you got to take into account. Those who locked max duration will receive boosted Satin emission. Basically like incentivizes you to lock for longer. That's like one of the premises of like VE33, that you're like incentivized to lock for longer. And that's like just generally better for the token because there's less supply on the market. This channel only does the top projects they can talk shit about coins like Hex. That's right. Exactly. Yeah, we'll just talk. We'll just save the shit talking for like XRP, Cardano, Hex, like all the culprits. Maybe we'll chuck in a bit of 𝗏𝗍𝗏 or one of them into that as well. So 90% of the trading fees gets distributed back to the gauge they voted for. So if you hold VE Satin, you're gonna get to choose where you vote for. So like where you direct emissions towards. 25% of the cash rebase for pairs they vote in the form of auto bribes. As VE Satin holders also are cash holders by default, they receive both Satin emissions and cash rebase rewards. So the implied FDV with the seed was 7. The public sale implied FDV was 10. I think it's at a 20 mil valuation now. Or launches at 0.0006 with an FDV of 15 mil. So let's look at the comparative valuations of other similar protocols. I think you have Thena on BSC, which is like similar. That's a 37 mil. So already like Satin looks attractive as the top one on Polygon on like a case-by-case basis. Velodrome, what's that coming in at? 130 mil. That's a lot higher. That's the biggest one on Optimism. Basically, like, it's got room to run. Like, it definitely has room to run. Obviously, like, the yield generation from staking is just... Josh, get that 𝗏𝗏𝗽𝗏𝗏 comment off the screen. I'm sick of... 𝗏𝗏𝗽𝗏𝗏. No. We're done with Luna. We're done. It's done. It's dead. Not interested. I might short that thing if it ever pumps, though. But it's done. I'm sorry. And I just lost my train of thought. I was about to say something good. Damn, oh yeah. So basically, like the valuation relative to other, at least like implied by the launch, relative to some of these other protocols is reasonable in my opinion. So Matt says he likes the fact that they're integrating yield-bearing cash stablecoins. He likes the extra yield to cash LP and VE Satin holders. The emission of Satins could be less inflationary, good for the token long term. And yeah, he highlights the attractive valuation. So in terms of like getting your hands on these tokens, they just closed the pre-sale, but they're going to be launching soon, of course. So if you're desperate for the token, you can wait till it launches and take part in the pools. So like staking cash, staking Satin, LPing, that's going to earn you some yield. That's something I'm going to do when it launches. And then if you want to get an airdrop, they're going to have Galaxy airdrops from the start of March till April 1st. So over the next few weeks, there's going to be quests. So what I would do to stay up to date, to make sure like if you want to get an airdrop, you're in the best position, I would be in their Discord. So there's a link in the description to their Discord. Make sure you join the Discord. In fact, can I see the Discord in here? Yeah, it's here. So Satin, Discord, invite Stable Labs. If you want to get the airdrop and stay up to date with their launch and of course, like degen with some of the other members of the community. Go join their Discord, show them some love, and yeah, just get more information there. So that's what I would do in terms of staying up to date. Of course, like you can follow them on Twitter and stuff as well, but Discord's going to be the place where you can like interact and find out more about the protocol. Basically, TLDR is I'm just a lot more interested in Solidly forks. I am researching this area. I'm looking at investing in a few of them. Equal, I missed the run up, but I'm looking at some of the plays in that eco, like MPX and stuff, which have like pools. So, and like you've got Rave and all those other sort of projects, pills and that kind of stuff. On Equal, that's more Fantom, but just in general, looking at some of these forks now, because look at the TVL of these forks. This is a hot narrative. This is like almost 3-4x in the last, or 6x in the last couple months, and it's not slowing down. Like with these huge new protocol launches. That's why I've got my eyes on things like Satin that are launching, because there could be new opportunities, and I'm always keeping my eye out for new things in this space, because I think it's a narrative that can continue to perform, because I think Solidly's freaking cool. And just the way the tokenomics are designed, some of the projects are really going to benefit from like enhanced designs from their predecessors. So I think it's interesting. Let me know in the comments right now, what do you think of Solidly? What do you think of this stuff? Do you like it? Do you hate it? What do you think? Satin Discord to get more news about airdrop. Yep. I would just join the Discord to keep involved. I mean, Discord is going to be your hub of alpha. That's where you're going to get all the information. So I would definitely create a nice Discord folder. Someone said this project looks lame. I mean, your opinion's your opinion, but what I would try and understand if I were you before I like make a decision on any Solidly fork, because I would do a lot more research on Solidly and why it's good and why there are benefits to VE33 tokenomic designs and why it's interesting at the very least, why there's efficiency benefits. Because as a DeFi degen, I love this stuff. Like, I love these kind of designs. I find it so interesting, bro. I find it so interesting. So yeah, just because something's interesting doesn't mean you need to invest in it, obviously. But I'm kind of just trying to point you guys in the direction of like looking into them, because they're hot and there could be more opportunities. And yeah, obviously Satin Exchanges is a sponsor. Heading into their launch, I would keep my eyes on them. But yeah, just want to like make sure, full disclosure, in terms of the sponsorship there, but that's not going to change my opinion on the project. If they do something great, I'll tell you. If they do something shit, I'll tell you. Yeah, I'm not paid to shill or anything like that. It's basically like always. I'll just be honest with you. There's a lot of discussions in the comments about, and I want to get Mr. DeFi on in a sec to talk about his thoughts on stuff. There's a lot of arguing in the comments. People arguing about XRP. People arguing about Cardano. It's tell us more about Equalizer. I will. So after Mr. DeFi's segment here, where we look at some like DeFi stuff, I'm gonna get into the Fantom ecosystem, and when we get into the Fantom ecosystem, I'll talk about Equal and some of the other projects I'm seeing. And yeah, we'll do that. So I think now's a great time to introduce the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. DeFi. What's up?
Hey, what's up, Miles? Nice to be here again, mate.
Lovely to have you. I mean, if you guys don't know, Mr. DeFi has been a regular contributor to the show. You've come on a couple times already. And he is like a DeFi wizard. So he is a DeFi expert. He's a yield hunter. He's a DeFi degen. Before you all make the same comment that I know you're going to make about like the mask, is he like some dodgy, like, masked villain? Like I know him well. We're friends in real life. He just obviously just for like safety / privacy reasons doesn't want to show his face. It's got nothing to do with scamming or anything. I just know we're gonna get comments, so I thought I'd address it.
Yeah,
or
I think
quickly. But
it's a common comment. I appreciate you mentioning. I see some people saying, "Hey, hello again. Thanks a lot for having me back into the channel, Miles." And I really like the fact that you started, or when I joined, you were speaking about these Solidly forks, because I think it's a topic that we actually started speaking about it 3 weeks ago, right? We covered, I think back at that time, it was Thena in the Binance Smart Chain. which actually has been performing quite well. And I don't know if you just, or if you've already spoken about it, but it's really interesting because they are actually deploying concentrated liquidity, right? So I think it's really cool that we're seeing projects which are a fork of Solidly, which are all the time, improving and deploying new stuff. So if you go to their Twitter, they were speaking about the concentrated liquidity pools and the fact that they're going to start deploying. And I think that's really cool because we've seen that working very well in Uniswap. So I think that could be interesting for the project if they're able to deploy it successfully.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. They're like a BSC. They're like the biggest fork on BSC, right?
Yeah, that's correct. They are the biggest fork in BSC of Solidly. So they are basically a fork of Velodrome, and then they've been working to improve it. So if you go below, I think it's pretty close there. There you go. Yeah.
I've got to be honest. I met with the team last week, and I was very impressed. They're actually actually I don't know if I can say. I'm not sure what I'm like allowed or not allowed to say because I don't want to like give away anything. But they're working on some cool stuff, basically.
Yeah.
I just don't. I just don't want to like throw anyone under the bus. But I did meet with them. I was impressed. Yeah.
Can you go above? Yeah, I think it was a little bit up. You just passed it. They were talking about concentrated liquidity.
Native liquidity or concentrated?
Concentrated. Yeah, there you go.
Oh,
That's the one. Yeah, so Thena will soon offer and retail friendly solution to concentrated liquidity. So you're going to be able to choose your range the same way you do it in Uniswap, and then you're going to be able to do this in a decentralized exchange like Thena, which is a Solidly fork. So again, we see something that works very well solidly. We see a fork Velodrome. We see Thena improving and then bringing new capabilities. And again, Thena is an option for those of you who work on Binance Smart Chain. But I think, Miles, before this, you were covering Satin, right? That is deploying on Polygon. So yep. I think it's just about being close to the narrative and doing constant research of these new functionalities that will add value to users.
I think Solidly isn't going away in the near future. I think this is a narrative that's here to stay for like at least the next few months and possibly longer because these models will keep evolving. I guess that's the thing people don't realize. They kind of assume like just because something launches with one design, it needs to like adhere to that forever. I think some of these protocols are like very adaptive. They're going to launch, they're going to change over time, but they're like starting off with a tech that's very, very good compared to other AMMs. So that's kind of, I think it's here to stay. I don't know. What do you think about the Solidly forks as well?
I agree. Yeah, I think they're here to stay, and especially because they are using something that is very important to me, and it's adding value to their native token, right? So even though their token, it's a reward token, they are creating the whole bribing, or they are using the whole bribing mechanism in order to provide utility to that token. So I think that's really, really important because there you're going to be removing that selling pressure to the reward token. So I think that's super, super important, Miles. And then they continue to innovate, like we see here in Thena, but we've seen it in Velodrome, innovation, and I think that's important. So I would agree with you, Miles. Yeah.
Do you want me to add your YouTube or your Twitter to the description so the audience can follow you?
And they can. You can add the Twitter if you want, because there I do post in English and in Spanish, so you can use that one. Obviously, if someone, yeah.
I just sent it to Josh to add to the description.
Perfect.
So you guys can, in like 30 seconds, you can go follow him, but it's underscore Mr. DeFi. Just in case you guys are asking who is he. I saw a few people ask before.
Yeah, if someone speaks Spanish, I also have the YouTube channel where I do these DeFi strategies in Spanish. So if you guys want to follow some Spanish content, you can definitely do it. And today, Miles, obviously, I'm a big fan of Solidly project, but I wanted to speak about a project that I'm very, very interested in, is Radiant. Have you heard about it, Miles? Radiant.
I have. It's on Arbitrum, but I mean, you can, feel free to explain a little bit more.
Perfect. So let me tell you why I want to speak about Radiant. And the first reason why I want to do it is because we've seen number of transactions in Arbitrum exploding, right? If you see, and it was really interesting. I can probably bring up my screen, Miles, really quickly, and I'm going to show you some metrics that I think are interesting. Let me share my screen over here. Okay. This one over here.
It's like omni-chain lending. Nah, it is cool. It's on layer 02. I've actually talked about this on my Twitter before. It's freaking
Absolutely.
cool. Yeah, it's freaking cool.
Can you see my screen?
Cool. Yep.
Yeah. So look, why I've been following so closely the Arbitrum narrative, right? It's all because of the number of transactions. So I realized that something incredible happened over here. I know it's a little bit small in the screen, but if you see over here on February 21st, we hit 1.1 million transactions in Arbitrum. And if you go back to Ethereum and you look at the same date, February 21st, let me look for it over here. We got 1.08. So actually, it was the first time that a layer 2 of Ethereum had more transactions in one day than the actual Ethereum chain. I think that's crazy, man.
That it's like a huge milestone, massive milestone for Arbitrum. It's like their growth's been impressive. No, you can't. It's undeniable. It's
undeniable. So if the metrics are the on-chain metrics are showing you that we are following a path, a tendency, right? I think you need to stay close to it. And therefore, I said, okay, I'm going to keep doing more and more research about Arbitrum. What are the top projects there? And a key element for any blockchain is a money market. So I said, okay, what's going to be the next big money market in Arbitrum? And I found Radiant. So if you see in DeFi Llama, you can see how Radiant in the past months have, this is an absolutely parabolic growth in TVL. Right now, there's more than $100 million invested in Radiant. And obviously, this is an interesting indicator, the TVL. But to me, it's more important whether the project is sustainable long-term and if it is generating fees and revenue, right, Miles? Because we've seen a lot of projects growing in TVL, but it was not a sustainable model. And therefore, they are doomed to failure. But in this case, if you actually go to Token Terminal, you can see something really, really cool. And this is what actually convinced me. Look at this. It is amazing. So the green line shows you the fees that the project is generating day to day. So you can see the fees are absolutely growing in a parabolic way together with the market cap, right?
Yeah, I'm just saying, wow, it looks good. It's like perfectly correlated.
Yeah. Perfect. Yeah, exactly. And you see a lot of projects where the TVL starts to go up, and that's sometimes pushed by the FOMO of people. So people investing in the project, but the project then keeps generating a project that is generating more fees, and the market cap is growing accordingly. And what is the result of that, man? The result of that is that their PF ratio, which compares your fees versus your market cap, it is actually the lowest, and lowest is good. Okay, so the lower the better across all of these projects. Right now, Radiant in the past 90 days, their PF ratio is 1.6, and this is because of what we were looking at before, the fact that their fees are growing at the same rate that their market cap is growing. What do you think, Miles?
Yeah, I think it's crazy. What's their market cap right now? 250, right?
Yeah, 259, 293.
Yep. So their FDVs are... Oh, that's their FDV. So their market cap's 60, fully diluted to 259. How much are they generating a day? 50,000 a day?
Yeah, let me go back to it. Yeah, close to 50K in fees. Yep.
So 50,000 times 365, 23. 23 times. So they're like a P ratio of 10 on FDV, and they're a P ratio of 2 on market cap. That's fairly reasonable. I don't think that's excessively valued at all, really. Like
no, I agree. And yeah, you can see the PF ratio
and fee ratio.
Yeah, the circulating one is 3.6.
Can you get the PS ratio up? It's the next one.
Yeah. This is fully diluted, huh? This is fully diluted. You should look at circulating.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. So
7.2x on circulating, which is good.
Okay, yeah.
And apart from the metrics, which I think are interesting, I think there's something also important to understand, and it's what is the fundamental behind the project, right? These guys are trying to create an omni-channel lending platform They started in Arbitrum, but they are expanding now to other networks. It's not yet live, but they're going to be expanding. And again, guys, this is not a promotion. I haven't been paid to talk about Radiant. I'm talking about it because I truly think it has a lot of a promising future. And imagine you're a DeFi user, right, Miles? And I always think about a project saying, okay, how it is making my life as a DeFi user easier. And imagine that you can say, okay, I have my Bitcoin, right? I have some wrapped Bitcoin in Arbitrum. I can borrow, I can deposit it here. Okay, I'm gonna be earning a decent 2% for having my Bitcoin here. But there is this amazing DeFi strategy on Polygon, right? You're gonna be able to deposit in Arbitrum and borrow in Polygon, and then invest the money that you borrow in Polygon. Then you can pay it, and then you can retrieve your Bitcoin in Arbitrum. So it's going to be truly omni-channel. And I think that's amazing. We haven't seen that. Sorry.
Is omni-chain lending live yet, or is that a future?
No, it's going to be part of their future roadmap.
Do you know roughly when? Is there a roadmap, or let me see if I can look up.
Maybe we can check their Twitter just to check out.
Radiant. Because that's really freaking cool. Like
that's really, really cool. Yeah. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. You can share your screen if you want.
I'm going to see if I can find a roadmap. Radiant. Just seeing if I can find one. Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, I'll look in the background. But
yeah. I think it's important to do some more research and check it out, right? To see when exactly it's going to be live. I don't know if they have actually announced exactly when it's going to happen. But yeah, so Kieran is saying there is an omni-chain lending protocol out end of March. Tapioca DAO launching soon. Omni-chain market using layer 0 strategy will blow Radiant away. Well, I haven't heard about Tapioca DAO. It'd be interesting.
What's it called?
Yeah, there's someone saying here Tapioca DAO. That is going to be launching soon. They're saying omni-channel market using layer 0 strategy will blow Radiant away. Well, Radiant is pretty big already, so I guess Tapioca needs to do it very well. I haven't heard about Tapioca before. Let's check it out. Someone else here saying, hey, yeah, Tapioca is truly omni-channel.
Tapioca.
Yeah, Tapioca. I think that's like a food from Brazil or something like that.
Isn't it like what you get in like bubble tea?
It sounds like, yeah. I think Tapioca.
Tapioca DAO. This is like weird. Oh yeah, they're like the pearls, right? Tapioca.
Yeah. Really. Well, I had never heard about that.
Yeah, it's like bubble tea, like these things.
Okay. Yeah. You see, you always learn something new, man.
Yeah, like these. I don't know. Who likes bubble tea? Smash the video if you like bubble tea. Do you like bubble tea?
It's crazy how you are talking about Radiant borrowing and lending, and you end up talking about Tapioca and bubble tea. I love it.
Whoa, this website's crazy.
What is this, man?
Oh.
That's amazing.
Oh, we can go down here and give the viewers a trippy experience. This is cool. Look at this website.
It's a little bit hard to follow, but yeah, it's cool.
Whoa! Like all of that just to enter the DApp. Have you ever seen that?
I mean, guys, look, I'm pretty sure that there's going to be a lot of projects trying to deploy these omni-chain money markets because we know that the future is going to be cross-chain. So it just makes sense. Just be very careful, right? Because just putting your money in these small projects, even though they can promise whatever they want, it's just dangerous. So just be very careful, diversify your portfolio.
Yeah, and look, that Tapioca's barely launched. They don't really have it much going. But is Tapioca built on? I mean, we can do some live research. Tapioca DAO. I do like Radiant a lot, by the way. I think it's cool. By the way,
I like Radiant, and I want to showcase Radiant because the guys have been out for a while. They have a very high TVL. They have strong fees. People are using it. I've been using it myself. But yeah.
Do you want to? Yeah, I'm trying to find their Medium docs. Here we go. Honestly, it's too overwhelming almost. Like,
it's a little bit overwhelming. So there is someone saying, Lizzie May is saying they do tons of interviews with Tapioca DAO. They are legit. No idea, man.
Radiant doesn't have the best tokenomics. I mean, it's not terrible. I mean, yeah, they're not fully emitted yet, but
no, they're not fully emitted. No. Can you go to CoinGecko?
Like, just because we say we like Radiant doesn't mean ape. It could mean there's opportunities in the eco. Like it could mean you can actually, if you, I think a layer 0 airdrop, you could potentially get one for using dApps in the eco. So at the very least, yeah, things like Radiant can help you. Someone else asked where to buy Radiant. Hot tip: if you want to know where to buy any token, go to CoinGecko Markets and you'll see the exchanges it's on. I would use something like a KyberSwap here, because what you'll be able to do is go see in the top right, it's on Fantom. You'll be able to click on 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. Then you'll be able to add in Radiant, for example, or RNDT. That's not freaking coming up, but if you get the contract address, you can paste it in. Yeah, you can just manually substitute it, and then it will find you the best trade route. Oh, here it is. RDNT. I was misspelling. So it'll swap through. So let's say you have USDC on Arbitrum. You want to go to Radiant. It'll automatically go through the 0x pool to get you the best rate to save you money. So it'll I'd use something like KyberSwap, because then you're not having to go and go into all these Uniswap or some other DEX or 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 DEX. Just literally go on to where's Kyber? Yeah, go into Kyber, enter the token. It's it's the one-stop shop for DEX trading. Also, they're a show sponsor, so link in the description to KyberSwap if you want to use it. Just before we get back to you, someone said ChatGPT video was fire. When part 2? So in that video, I said part 2 this weekend. I am still releasing the part 2. I'm just delaying it a few days because it's taken some time to get the strategy together. I don't just want to rush it out and give you guys a half-assed video. So I've been just working on it, refining the strategy. I'll record it probably tomorrow or the day after for maybe a midweek release. So sorry it's delayed, but I think it's worth the wait. If you haven't watched that video, go watch it. So yeah, all right, back to you, sir.
I think someone was speaking about the tokenomics of Radiant. I was checking CoinGecko, and actually look at their supply, their max supply, and the current circulating supply. I think that's quite an interesting view. Do you have CoinGecko over there? Can you check it out? Radiant might. Look at that. Yep. Look at the circulating supply versus the max supply. So what is it? 1/5? It's out.
Yeah, a quarter.
Yeah.
And you can see the dilution here. So we're we're here. We're on month 4. We're on month 5. So you've got a decent curve for the next 8 months, and then it but the market's not stupid. The market, there's a big misconception about unlocks that dilution means the token goes down. And although that is the case, especially in a bear market, it doesn't always necessarily happen, because the market prices in FDV as well. Even if you're a short-term trader, FDV doesn't matter. Longer term, it's slightly more of a headwind, but yeah, it depends on your time horizon. But oftentimes it is priced in.
Agree. So so Radiant was one of the projects that I thought was just interesting to check out. There's 2 more projects that I'm following very closely. One of them is the VELA exchange. I think you've already spoken about it, Miles, in this show, right? VELA.
𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 keeps coming up. Do you like 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏?
Let's keep it in singular, not plural, Miles. VELA. There you go.
Yeah, I love it.
They have a really cool new functionality that I am actually investing in. So if you open the app, actually let me open it, because you will need to actually log in, I think, to use it. So maybe I can. Okay, so
there's a lot of wash trading because everyone wants this airdrop. I freaking wanted to buy this at $2 and I didn't buy. And I even called it and I didn't buy. Disgusting.
Now I'm going to have to sign. No, I don't need to sign. Okay, cool. So over here, stake. So I really like this, man. I really like the fact that, you know, they had this VLP token, which you actually minted using USDC. The price of the token is paired to USDC. So basically, you're providing liquidity. And again, we go to the same concept of GMX, of Lyra Finance that I covered it here in the show, I guess, a couple of weeks ago. All of these projects, they need liquidity. And therefore, you as a DeFi user, you can provide liquidity to the project without the need of buying their own token. If you don't think that the token 𝗲𝗲 is going to be successful in the long term, or if you don't think that Lido is going to be successful in the long term, or whatever, right? Or you think that they are already, because the reality is, Miles, all of these tokens in the past 1 month, they really have spiked on price. Like their price are, some cases, all-time high. So I can see a lot of people that maybe are a little bit worried on buying the native tokens of all of these Arbitrum projects. But what I tell to them, and what I am doing myself in some cases, is I am providing liquidity in USDC stablecoins, and then I'm earning quite decent yield over here. Look, they're paying you 76% APR on your USDC, and 72% of them, they are paying them to you back on VLP, right? So it's basically auto-compounding automatically. And then only 4% comes in their escrow version of the VELA token, which has a vesting time. So yes, it's going to take time for that to liberate, and then you can sell it. But 72% is this real yield directly that you're generating on your investment. So I have invested myself 2K.
Yeah, you don't need to buy the token itself. You can just
Correct.
put in yeah.
So I think it's a cool option. Again, I'm just showing it, guys. Again, this is no shilling. I haven't been paid by VELA. Just one of my personal investments. I have a lot of stable coins because my part of my strategy is to hold and keep a lot of liquidity in case the market goes down again, which I think there is a chance, because if you look at the economy overall and macroeconomy overall, I think it's very turbulent right now. So it could have an impact on Bitcoin price. And if Bitcoin goes down, we know all of these tokens might go down. So I'm trying to stay very liquid on stable coins. And while I stay liquid, I invested in this type of pools. So I just wanted to show that to the people. I don't know what you think, Miles, about this type of strategy.
I like it because it's then you're not, like, if you don't want to be too exposed to the token, it's like owning GLP.
Exactly.
What are the underlying base assets of VLP? And there's an airdrop coming too.
Yeah, let's go over here. So in this case, I think it's pure liquidity. So I don't think it's an index in the same. Let's check it out. More where I want to open the docs. There you go.
Someone said VELA 90% not unlocked. Yak, what's up with these plays? Like, it's such a misconception in crypto, bro. The FDV thing. Like, people are so, I think, scarred from the last bull run that everyone's like so worried about FDV. The thing is, like, FDV doesn't freaking matter if it's a short-term trade. If you're holding this thing for 5 years, then obviously, like, it matters. But, like, I don't care if it's 99% unlocked. If it's a short-term trade, it's like a 2-month hold, then, like, who gives a shit? Like, it doesn't matter. FDV doesn't matter. Like, it really, in the short term, it doesn't matter. It only really matters long, like, super long term. And even then, if you look at their white paper, like, the vesting isn't, look at the schedule here. Like, it vests until 2027. So it's not like it's some stupidly crazy, like, spiky, like, cliff emissions. It's like pretty damn gradual. So it's not like you could probably trade this for a year and not have to, like, worry too much. So, like, I think it's I think FDV is one of the most misunderstood topics in crypto, and also a lot of it gets priced in. That's not me shilling VELA. That's just genuinely having a gripe with some of the like, perceptions of how FDV works. And, like,
absolutely,
yeah, not everything is a 5-year hold, guys. Like, this could be like a 3-month perp DEX rotation play.
Like, absolutely. And again, there is the element of the airdrop, right, Miles? A lot of people is trying to qualify for the airdrop. You can make gains on the airdrop. And we've said it already. You don't need to invest in VELAs. You can use VELAs just to exchange. You're going to generate trading volume. You can invest in their VLP token. I just checked it over here. So if I can share...
the airdrop... I did a thread on the airdrop, like, a while ago, and I called VELA... Oh, I got rid of it. Oh, well. Miles Deutscher.
That's Andy Kaufman with the glasses. Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah, I called this on Jan 30th, the airdrop, and if you guys started participating on the open beta, when I talked about it, you're probably going to get an airdrop, but they're going to value volume. So I think if you're not in the airdrop already, you've missed it, but that's why you got to follow me on Twitter.
Why not? Yeah. Well, the option I was presenting before, it was the VLP token. So it's not even holding the VELA token. There's people here that are saying VELA is already 2,000 or 21,000% up. I'm not saying to buy that token at all. Actually, VLP, you were asking before, Miles, it's basically USDC, right? So you're going to be providing liquidity in USDC and you can retrieve it in USDC. So you have exposure to USDC. It's not like GLP where you have exposure to multiple tokens. So you invest USDC and then you're going to be...
So it's like, it's basically like, or at least similar similar to the like GNS DAI vault, except instead of DAI, it's USDC.
Correct. And here they call out the risks, right? So you have the smart contract risk, obviously. Although they say VELA is fully audited. Obviously, if traders make profit, that profit is paid with VLP pool. So same concept as GMX. The more the traders win, obviously the funds on the pool are going to go down. And then there is the risk of USDC the peg, which we all know. But that's basically it. So to me, I have liquidity, I have stable coins. I'm earning a 76% APR, which is really cool. And obviously, I am not putting all my eggs in the same basket. I'm not investing all my stable coins in this one, right? I have my stable coins spread and diversified across multiple blockchains and multiple projects and so on. So that's something super important. If you do DeFi, Miles, you know it. Diversify your risk.
Yeah, absolutely. Great advice. Absolutely.
So yeah,
no, VELA's cool.
It's really
cool. I think post airdrop we're gonna see a pullback. Like I've got this feeling, not VELOS, freaking hell. VELOS. DXP. I feel like we're gonna get a pullback post airdrop. So I'm not personally, and you got to make your own decisions, guys. But personally, I'm not buying much of this until post airdrop.
I wouldn't
just to see how things settle.
I wouldn't buy either now, not at all.
But I think the yield is pretty good on USDC. I think that's a very valid strategy. Yeah, I think it's valid for sure.
I think it's an interesting play. Yeah, absolutely. So I think that's pretty much it. Look, I had Synthetix. I wanted to speak about Synthetix in Optimism because those guys are doing also things. It's incredible what they are doing.
I had a thread. I wanted to talk about it. They're doing.
It's exactly the same one I had open, man. It's exactly the same one.
This was alpha. This was part of the alpha I wanted to share with you guys today.
I swear you, I had it open.
It looks crazy. Groundbreaking development for on-chain perps. Next level benefits including deep liquidity, low fees, 23 fully on-chain perps market. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. What's going on in the SNX ecosystem? It's one of the coolest protocols, but absolutely. But look at this chart. Whew. Since it's breakout of like the top of the range, it's 17%. So for me, like Synthetix, I would feel much more comfortable buying closer to this the bottom of the trend, this yellow trend, somewhere in this zone here.
Line.
I mean, you can maybe buy on the retest of the top of the range, which is like in here, but like if it gets there, hoping for a bounce, or like if you're super lucky, you'll get the retest of the second box, which is like gonna be like down in this trend and then
going up again,
some sort of extension. So I don't know. Let's see what happens, but those are like my two zones. I think as long as it holds structure, if it starts to break down, like beyond this yellow zone, then yeah, probably got to start considering it's some sort of fade out.
I think the next. I had opened myself a buy position around the $4 can you zoom in? I think it's around the 420 where you have all that volume. So immediately
Buy,
below.
sell.
Not working.
That's 420. You mean 220 or
320? Sorry, yeah, 220. Yeah, yeah, around that area where you have all that volume. There you go. That one. Yeah.
Like that range.
Yeah. How much is it? Yeah, 220, right?
230. Yeah.
Yeah, 230. So if we break, I think that's probably the target.
Yeah. So you're saying let's say like things get bad, we break down, then you can look at buying somewhere in this range as well as a third range. So I think there's probably like 3 DCA zones. Then you've got top of the range, like the diagonal support, and then you've got the lower range as well. So I'd probably draw it in like this, and obviously do your own research. Like don't just ape on my levels, but this is probably what I'm. This is, you got to say it, man. People will just ape out there, but this is probably like what I'd look at. Probably like that would average out around 260 buy. If you're bullish on SNX, do your research if you're bullish. But this is for the ones that are. This is the TA. And I think SNX. Let's see what exchange it's on. See where it is. Obviously for KuCoin, Kraken, it should be on Bybit and BitGet as well. Yep. Binance, BitGet. Yeah, so if you want to trade leverage, or spot, like whatever you want to do, but obviously like in terms of like a more efficient like perps trading, you can do it on BitGet for an $8,000 sign-up bonus. Bybit, you'll get a $30,000 sign-up bonus. So those are the central exchanges, or obviously OKX with the $10,000 mystery box promotion if you sign up, deposit $50. So those are the 3 centralized exchanges. Links in the descriptions for those 3 and all their bonuses. Or if you're like a DEX trader and you just want to like trade spot or something, obviously on KyberSwap, you're going to be able to swap into SNX there. That's just for the guys that like do want to trade it. You've definitely got some options there.
Absolutely. Look, I'm going to drop in the next 7 minutes and I let you speak about the whole alpha on Synthetix. What I like very much about this project, and I guess it's part of what you're going to be talking about, is how it is expanding, right? The fact that it's collaborating with so many different projects across Optimism. So if you guys don't know, you basically stake the SNX token, and then you can mint their stablecoin, SUSD, in exchange, right? And you can use that SUSD, that stablecoin, and you can deposit it in multiple projects, in multiple dApps, in order to generate even a yield. So I found one that is very interesting in Lyra Finance, actually. So you can hold Synthetix, SNX, you invest it, you stake it in Synthetix, you borrow SUSD, and be very careful with the amount that you borrow.
Bro, you're reading my mind. I had Lyra as a talking point today as well.
And we didn't prepare these guys, promise.
We didn't prepare. All our alpha's the same. Freaking hell.
Interesting. Yeah, we spoke about Lyra like 2 weeks ago, very high level, right? It's an options market, and it's been performing very well. And what I like is the fact that you can see now Synthetix working together with Lyra, giving you functionality to the SUSD, the stable coin of Synthetix, right? And then you can use it to provide liquidity to Lyra, and you can earn like 10 or 11%. So it's pretty cool.
Someone said it's pre-staged. I promise it's not. It's not. It's we're just synced. Someone said it's an echo chamber. Not even, because we don't even talk. Like, we're friends, but we don't really talk that much about like what altcoins would look like. We haven't discussed them in weeks, so like it's pure coincidence, I'd say.
Anyway, I'm gonna leave you guys. I gotta leave today. Got stuff to do, but I really appreciate again hosting me. I really appreciate.
Yeah, go follow Mr. DeFi in the link in the description to his Twitter, and then you can get his YouTube through his Twitter. He also does Spanish. Do you want to say a sentence in Spanish for the Spanish guys?
Yeah, it's Mr. DeFi en español. You can find it in YouTube. I post videos about DeFi strategies. Thank you very much, guys. There's
He's
someone
the Mars
saying
of the Spanish community.
Well,
no, I was going to say,
sorry?
Can you speak Spanish? I was going to say, can you speak some to the audience now?
Yeah,
Give them a
I will.
taste.
I mean, I appreciate that comment. I think that's a lot to say, being the Miles of the Spanish community, because Miles is huge and I'm still also learning. But thank you very much for the love. Puedo hablar un poco de español. Saludos a la familia Banter. And I know you understand, Miles, because you speak Italian, so it sounds similar, huh?
Yeah, a little bit. Un po'.
Cool, guys. Thank you very much. Thanks for hosting me, yeah?
Grazie mille.
Gracias. Cheers, guys.
Ci vediamo.
Bye. Bye.
I'm speaking Italian. He's speaking Spanish. Yeah, I don't know how to speak Italian. I mean, sorry, I don't know how to speak Spanish. I know how to speak some Italian, but I'm sure there's a lot of Spanish people in the audience or Spanish speakers in the audience as well. So if you are, then he's I think got the best DeFi channel in Spain, app for sure, absolutely. So yeah, go check out his stuff, but he also posts some English stuff on the Twitter. So I do have a lot more to talk about, probably for the next 30 minutes, I'd say. A few more coins I'm looking at, a few more altcoin setups, and then I want to get into just some general talk based on some of the Twitter suggestions that I have. And by the way, it's still pouring rain outside. Absolutely pouring. I love rain, though. I'm a huge fan of just like, I don't know, a rainy night, like a nice, relaxing rainy night. It's just very like comforting and relaxing. I actually love rain. I really love rain. So side topic though. Yeah, it is. It's the best, sleeping to the sound of rain. I actually, like, when I used to study, like what was ages ago now, like 6 years for my, or 5 years ago for my year 12, like, which is like grad year, high school. I used to study to like rain, thunder, like rainforest noises, because I found like listening to rain noises helped me like focus, because I used to get super distracted by like traffic or like people talking. So I used to just put on my headphones, and I couldn't study to music because music, unless it's instrumental, the lyrics are too distracting. So then you just couldn't think. So like I like got into this habit of listening to just rain noises to like concentrate. And it's a habit that I still sometimes like utilize. If I really need to get some work done, I'll just chuck on some like thunderstorm noises, and we're good to go. Some deep DeFi research. It's also raining in Perth. I want to go to Perth soon, actually. I want to get out of Melbourne soon. I'm like, I kind of just want to go on. I mean, obviously, I'm doing a lot of travel this year. I've got the US. I've got probably like Dubai, and I'm going in Europe in June. So to be honest, I only have a few months until I'm all over the place. So I don't know why I'm desperate to leave again. But I don't know. I kind of want to do a week somewhere soon. I guess I'm in crypto, right? I can stream anywhere. So I can, I don't need to be here. So that's the benefit of being full-time crypto. You can kind of work anywhere. So let me know where I should visit. I mean, I am in Australia, so I don't know. I don't want to go too far. But I don't know. I was thinking of going somewhere, just briefly. Like, I really want to do Japan. I'm considering that. Or maybe I do something more like relaxing. Like I could do Bali again, or I don't know, even like New Zealand, like Cook Islands would be cool. Japan, I should go to Japan. I really want to go to Tokyo again. I went when I was 15, so I haven't been there in 7 years. But it was so like, it was like my favorite trip at the time. I have some amazing photos from that trip. That was obviously pre-COVID. Tokyo, Kyoto. I'd love to go back. Japan's probably my second favorite cuisine after Italian as well. So yeah, or I could just visit Australia, because I'm in Australia. I've got WA, I've got Northern Territory. I've got a lot of amazing stuff right on my doorstep. Japan, cheap flights. Bali's $1,000 economy. Japan's $3K economy, and business Bali's like 5K, no, 3K, and Japan's like 8K. When Dubai? I think June Dubai. Although it's freaking hot then, so we'll see. But like, I probably want to be in Dubai more end of the year, like, or October, November. Someone said Medellin. I was actually considering going not to Colombia but to Mexico at some point this year, because I'm going to the US. I've always wanted to go to Mexico, so I think I might go to like Tulum, Cancun. I really want to go to Mexico, and yeah, I might do. Someone said Paris. Paris Blockchain Week is soon, and to be honest, I was invited, and I even have tickets, but it's in 2 weeks, and I don't know if I can be fucked going to Paris. I know that's like such a I don't know, like it's like such a first world problem because we're so lucky in the crypto industry that we can go to like these events for free and all sorts of stuff. Like it's honestly amazing. Most people would be desperate to go to Paris, but considering I'm in Melbourne, I'm literally on the opposite side of the world. So for me to go to Paris is such a headache. It's like 25 hours of travel back and forth. I don't know if I want to do it twice in the year because I'm going to Paris in June. So or like Europe in June. So do I really want to do it in March and then America and then Europe again? Or should I just like save myself a trip? I don't know. But the coolest thing about being full-time crypto, the coolest thing, and the reason I would urge any of you, if you can try and make this a career somehow, and if you want some advice, I think I might be able to help. But if you want some idea, if you want a career where you can travel, crypto is amazing. Like it's the best because you can trade at a beach, on a tropical island. You can make videos. As long as you have internet, you can make videos. You can tweet. If you're working for a crypto company, you can moderate or like write reports or do whatever you want from anywhere because it's online. So that's the coolest thing about crypto, the travel aspect. So if you're like considering becoming full-time and you love travel, I think you'll love crypto. But yeah, for me, it's maybe a little more tricky because I have like constraints. I need like a nice setup. I need internet. So like if you're in a Greek island, internet isn't always great. It's a real shame that 30 people just left and didn't want to hear about my travel plans because they all just missed out on the upcoming alpha. So the thing is with the show, these Sunday streams is the second you leave, you don't know when alpha's going to hit. I've got a lot of stuff still planned to share with you guys today. So those guys might just have to watch it later. I think they made a mistake, 𝗪𝗍𝗍𝗍. So yeah. But yeah, it's chill. I really, really enjoy these streams. But yeah, all right, let's crack on with some stuff because impatient people are leaving. And I just saw the views shoot back up. They're all coming back. Look at that. Okay, so a few things. So we covered the Solidly stuff. VELO, we covered that. All right, let's talk about Fantom. Because the first Johnny, appreciate the support, bro. Appreciate it. Okay, Fantom is pretty important to talk about right now because it is doing what I like to call the McDonald's pattern. And let me just give you a bit of a preview. It's the McDonald's pattern. It's a McDonald's M. So that's basically all on Fantom. Next, no, I'm kidding. So basically, like it does genuinely look like the Macca's pattern, but there is reprieve. That reprieve will come of a break of this diagonal. So super important for bulls. And this is, as I said, the other show, this is my long condition for Fantom. We break above this horizontal and this diagonal, and I am longing Fantom on the 30-30-30. That's how I like splitting up my trades. 30% break, 30% retest, 30% confirmation. I will long Fantom on the breakout here because I think it's going to take us up to 50 cents again. That will be a 17% move. That's fucking massive, especially if you use a bit of leverage. If we get a little bit degen with like a 5 or 10x leverage, I mean, we're going to kill it off that trade if that actually plays out. That is the breakout trade. Now, it may not happen. We may just keep getting rejected. And then if we do, and we get rejected again, and then we lose this support, then yeah, obviously 34 cents, well on the cards. And then probably the logical zone for Fantom to come in that scenario if it breaks down, while still, maintaining some form of structure, would be to come back down to this previous zone. You see this zone here, which was that original bull flag. I think this zone, this 30 to 34 cent zone, that'll be strong support. That's like a nice little Macca's pattern completion for Fantom to the bearish side. But it doesn't all need to be doom and gloom. I actually think this is a decent buy zone, especially if we break through. So, and obviously, all that relies on earlier TA that I did on Bitcoin and ETH. So if you want to hear more about my Bitcoin plan, my ETH plan, go back to the start of the show after this show finishes, and you'll hear my thoughts on what Bitcoin and ETH need to do, because nothing's changed since then. I mean, they're basically freaking stable coins at the moment. But for Fantom, we want this break. Now, Joe or the Irishman did an interesting tweet. He said, "System's telling me to ladder into longs here for a bounce. Fantom has had action around it recently, but if this level is lost, it's bad. Nice setup though, tight stop with clear invalidation, flip short fast on losses or loss of level." So what he's saying is he's identifying this level, and I'll draw it in, as a key level Fantom needs to hold on to. He's going to like long in this zone, hopefully get that bounce, get that breakout. You can wait for the breakout. You can start laddering in now if you're a spot trader. If you're a leverage trader, it's riskier now. But like this is a level you can average in at. And then obviously set your stop like 35 cents to 37 cents. If we break, then, you got to get stopped out there. So he likes it as a long zone. I don't mind it. But like right now is only really like a spot long zone or like a low leverage long zone. For like you leverage degen traders that want to take that 7 to 10x leverage trade, you're going to need to be pragmatic and wait for like a 30-30-30 approach on the breakout. 30% break, 30% retest, 30% confirmation. On the break of the diagonal. So that's what I'd look at. Obviously, that's going to send us into this region of the 200 MA on the 4-hourly chart. That is going to act as resistance. That's probably where I'll take profits. And then obviously, if we flip that again, you can look to re-enter along. But obviously, that zone's going to be, a pretty significant resistance point. That is what the chart kind of looks like. Yeah, spot long. This is not a bad zone, not a horrible zone. You've also got a secondary zone. So, if you're a spot longer and you want to save for like like an even lower level, you think things are going to get bad, you don't like the Bitcoin chart, then you've got this other clear level at 30 cents as well. So there are two zones for you. Obviously, we're going to start to see this probably 200 MA on the daily, like one of my favorite indicators. That'll start to like come up here as well, act as some more support if that zone ends up coming into play. So that is my Fantom zone. I really think the breakout's huge, but yeah, potentially this is a spot level to long if you set your stop loss. Now, if Fantom does break, I think the eco will perform. And I'm still not in the eco. I've been talking about it for weeks, but I still haven't bought because I've just been like waiting, seeing what this market does. And to be honest, my complacency / patience, or a mixture of both, has been like a blessing because I haven't really entered many alts I want to enter, which is good because I have cash and the market's dropped. So to be honest, it worked out being complacent. But if we do get some breakouts, I don't plan on being complacent again. I see some very clear altcoins that could be strong performers. One of them is Liquid Driver. This is something that hasn't done much for a while, but they're working on some cool stuff. So they expanded to BNB. They're going cross-chain, but they're going towards net zero emissions. So the token's not going to be emitting anymore. It's going to basically become a deflationary token soon. And they also have they're stacking governance on solidly forks like Thena on BSC and other dexes as well. So they're not just Fantom anymore. So that's cool. You obviously get the Fantom exposure if Fantom runs. Obviously, Liquid Driver and other ecosystem tokens are a beneficiary, but you've also got some spill-on effects from the other chains they're deploying on as well. So it's just become a little more interesting now, the ecosystem, and I recommend reading up on some of their latest Medium articles. It's cool. But Liquid Driver is one on my list. If we get this Fantom break, that's one I'll be stacking. I wouldn't even mind putting a bit in now, but just going slowly with the DCAs, where you need Bitcoin to hold above this yellow zone, this trend. If we can maintain structure, I'm happy to just DCA a little bit. Obviously, I'll have my final DCAs around 21.5 at the bottom of this zone, and then we start to reconsider below that. But yeah, those are my DCA zones. So Liquid Drive is one I'm looking at. And I'm still reasonably heavy cash. I'm not going crazy. This is mostly short-term trades. These aren't 2-year buys right now. Maybe a few month time horizon max. But that's what I'm looking at. I'm also looking at MPX off the back of the Fantom breakout as well. MPX is launching their DEX on March 6th. So it's actually the 6th today. So tomorrow US time, that's when they're going to be launching. MPX has already done 20 mil of trading volume over the past month on Equalizer. But once they launch, I think it's going to be cool. We're going to see some volume start to kick up. Let's wait for the launch. I've always kind of wanted to wait for the launch till I bought, but the token just doesn't really come down. It was 120, it's now 105, so we got a slight pullback, but market's bullish on this token. Market's very, very bullish on this token. So this is what I'm looking at. 52 mil fully diluted, much, much less. I think it's 15 to 20 mil diluted. I remember Liquid Driver last run made good cash when it released. Bro, I was printing like a motherfucker. I was making, during January, $1,000 minimum a day of Liquid Driver rewards. Like, imagine waking up every day to a fresh $1,000. Like, and this went on for like 2 months, I reckon, of like $1,000 every week. They're making like 7K, like a month, 30K. Like, it's just like, it was free money. That wasn't even like principal holdings. That was just emissions. And it was Fantom ecosystem shit. So like, look, I did cash some into stables, but honestly, not enough. One of my major lessons there was I got too cute with the rotations, and I was like, oh, I'm making so much. I'll just rotate. I'll compound, you know? And then I just never really like cashed out the full, like I could have walked away with 6 figures worth of Liquid Driver, but I like end up relocking a lot of it. And, you know, I obviously made money, but nowhere near as much as I should have. So I learned a lot from those days, but those days were fucking crazy. Those were, the glory days of DeFi. I can't believe it. Like, I thought I'd never, ever, 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 ever have to do anything again. I thought I'd be retired in a, in a mega freaking mansion with a mega yacht and just living off my passive Liquid Driver income. Someone said, should I start DCAing into Fantom now? I mean, this completely depends on your situation. Obviously, I can't give financial advice. So you got to do you. What am I personally doing? Which is suited to my needs. I already have like a decent position. So long term, I'm not like accumulating here. Short term, gonna wait for this breakout. Might ladder in after this show, like maybe a little bit on the longs in this zone with like a tight stop under, probably like 37-cent stop. That's probably what I'll look at. But then, you know, keeping 70% plus for the break if I'm trying to long. So I guess, like, I don't know. You got to make your own decision, bro. Borrow my mansion. I mean, look, I'm not, you got a mansion, Trevor. Nice. To be fair, I'm not doing badly. So I'm chilling, to be honest with you. But, yeah, it could have been even more chill. That's for sure. Could have been proper. Yeah, I don't know. Who gives a shit? It wasn't. So we move on. But those days were crazy. Those days were nuts. Those degen Liquid Driver days. Any plays? Yeah, MPX and Liquid Driver. Those are my 2 Fantom plays on the breakout. I think those are the 2 strongest for now. And on the back of Liquid Driver, I like Thena. We talked about it before. Fer and I talked about it, but I think Thena's a great project as well. So I would definitely look into the Thena ecosystem. Because I just think it ties in with Liquid Driver. So I'll show you. Where is the tweet? They are basically deployed and accumulating VEV and in Thena. So I like it. I like both. So I like all 3 of those as like plays. But yeah, you need to buy in confluence with Bitcoin and ETH. You don't just buy for the sake of it. You got to like have a plan corresponding with the Bitcoin charts. And as I told you, I think although we can push up now, we're going to approach resistance here. And what Bitcoin does will be a big decider in how I play this. So I think, you know, if we flip this yellow zone, break to the upside, that's going to be amazing for alts. Then I like basically ape. But you know, we can also get sucked into this kind of area and then reject off the 200 MA, this horizontal, and then come back down and test. Then I would probably make some final buys before I would definitely hedge short or cut my longs on a break of the diagonal. So yeah, you can long now and like try and like play this little scalp trade, but maybe if you want confirmation, maybe you'll need to pay higher prices, but at least buy on the you know, continuation of like a new bullish trend rather than trying to like pinpoint a reversal now, because it's hard now. It's hard. There's no volume. So what I'm waiting for, as I said earlier in the show, and I give you more expansive thoughts earlier in the show on Bitcoin TA, is did I say Thena? Thena? I mean, I don't care, to be honest. Bitcoin is like a stable coin. So I want to see some volume kick in. Like, look at this bullshit volume. Look at this huge just decline in volume. Like, look, just absolute decline in volume. It's basically just doing nothing. So I need to see like an uptick in volume for me, and hopefully that corresponds with like a break here. for me to get interested, or even sell volume. To be honest, I just want to feel something. If it's sell volume, then obviously that means we break this diagonal, and then we can look at some nice shorts on the break here, and then retest short, bang. That'll take us down to 21.5. Alt's down 10%, 10x leverage. That's double your money type plays there, and then maybe we look for the bounce. So there are going to be opportunities either way, but yeah, we just need some volume to make decisions. Until there's volume, hard to trade crazily. So that's leverage, of course. Spot you can kind of DCA and go slower. It's kind of what I'm doing. Looking at some undervalued alts, things I like, narrative. So we talked about solidly. Forks, I like them right now. I like some of the Liquid Driver. I like MPX. VELO's interesting post airdrop, not yet. The Thena, whatever you want to say. Thoughts on VELO? Yeah, look a bit earlier in the show. I like it. I just think something like a Satin, which is launching at a 20 mil, might be VELO, might be more attractive than Velodrome at like a 200 mil. So let's just look at what else I got. Oh, Synthetix as well. That's my Synthetix chart. Those are my 3 accumulation zones. There's a lot of other threads and info, but I'm just not that interested by it right now. I think what we should rather do is go through my Twitter post and look at the coins the Twitter guys wanted to see me review. So let's do that. And also drop your comment, drop any questions you have in the comments now, and we'll do a bit of a Q&A to wrap this up for the last 20 minutes. So yeah, just let me know. Lido, I gave you the charts earlier. A lot of this stuff that you guys are asking, I did touch on earlier. I know not all of you were here since the beginning, understandably, because we've been live for 2 hours. But if just go back afterwards and have a look. But I'll just show you Lido. TLDR, we're in this channel. Looks pretty bullish, but I do prefer Frax. As a buy right now, Frax looks better in this zone. Hopefully does end up flipping and breaking this diagonal, and then hopefully pushes back up to the top of that range. So Frax is one I'm looking at. And yeah. Remember, if you want to trade anything, there's links in the description to OKX for a $10,000 mystery box if you deposit $50. Also, we've got Bybit with a $30,000 sign-up bonus, BitGet with $8,000 as well. So that's for, obviously, centralized exchanges. And if you're a DEX trader, then you can trade on KyberSwap to get the best rates on a DEX. But if you are doing any trading, I don't care if it's DEX, I don't care if it's centralized, you need a VPN. Get a VPN. I'm sorry for the VPN shill. I know people say, Miles, stop shilling VPNs, but I know not everyone has one, and until everyone has one, I'll keep shilling it because it's $3 a month to protect your identity from hackers, keep yourself secure online. It's pretty much a no-brainer to use a VPN. Pretty much a no-brainer. So link in the description to a VPN as well. And yeah, you get a special deal. If you sign up through the link, you get a 60% discount, 59% technically, and you also get a month free. And if you don't like it, there's a 30-day back money guarantee. So if you hate it for some reason, you think it's shit, for 30 days, you'll get all your money back. No harm done. So risk-free, basically. Freaking risk-free. So yeah, link in the description to Nord. If you're going to do any trading, make sure you're well equipped. So questions in the comments, and I'll go through my Twitter now as well. Let's do it. So where did I put this tweet? Anyway, it doesn't matter. I'll get it again. So let's put this at the end. Oh, it's okay to be here. All right, so I'll just go through quickly. Check out 𝗏𝗃. I'm a fan of 𝗏𝗃. I like 𝗏𝗃. I just want to look at how its price is performing. 𝗏𝗃. I love the Cosmos Eco. Probably more, long term, probably more interested in Osmo, Injective, and I think Mars Astroport were interesting. Jose, I don't own any, but they look interesting. Will, I don't know if you're still in the house, but you commented GLQ. I'll give you a very quick review. All of these will be fairly quick, not going to be super comprehensive. Graph LinQ protocol. First thing I work out when I research a new protocol is always what is the use case, what actual need does this fulfill, and that always helps me work out how how to like just even begin pricing it. Extremely low cap. Are you sure it's this? You said it's check dot. Are you sure it's this? I don't think it's this. Check dot. Will, let me know in the comments. CDT. Or do you want me to look at both? Both. Okay. Okay, so GraphLink let's check out the app. Okay, let's just put in my MetaMask. Wrong network. Wants me to be on ETH. Don't know what's going on there. Let's read a little bit more about it though. Automated management solution. Deploy automation without needing to code. It won't let me connect my wallet, which is annoying. It just says initializing, so I don't know what's going on there. So you can still coding templates. Is that what it is? It won't let me connect my wallet, so that's not a great sign. Create your own graph. Use a variety of pre-made blocks. Graphling. I mean, it's almost fully diluted. I personally don't really understand the use case. I need to look into this one more. I don't really understand it. I just don't. Like, I've read like 5 lines to be fair, but I don't really get it. Yeah, I'm just. It's kind of. I gotta be interested in a project. I'm very like I gotta have passion for the use case. I think this sounds cooler. Is this an insurance protocol? Because if it is, I've been waiting for one for a while. So covers. Okay, so you can. I mean, crypto insurance. I don't think anyone's worked it out yet, but obviously it's going to be $1 billion niche one day. It will be $1 billion niche, I think, or more. But like, I don't know if this is the solution. You know, like, why does they always want you to connect your wallet? Like, I love dApps that allow you to use them without connecting your wallet. Well, if they hack me, I don't give a frick because it's a hot wallet. Always use a hot wallet when you're using new dApps. Okay. Wrong network. Wants me to go on BSC. So I want to be covered for a year for 21,000 USDT. It's going to cost me $500. What? And if KuCoin collapses, I get the money. Proof of insurance in the form of an NFT will be sent to you. For all claims, please refer. I mean, if these guys are trustworthy, it's good. I don't know, like the team or anything, but it looks cool. I mean, I don't love the UI. The UI is not great. The use case is good, but this is like very janky. Very, very janky. And obviously clearly new. So I don't know. In terms of the token, ridiculously low market cap, very low FD, like very undiluted though, which is good. What's the use case for the token? City token is the foundation of the check.insurance protocol. It'll be used as a payment service when purchasing covers in tandem with various separate tokens. 50% will use directly to supply the protocol with liquidity to reduce risks. Other 50% will be injected to the liquidity pool. 1% of the claim amount. Payment service. It's like the payment token. Could be better utility, but it's okay. Look, it looks solid. It's small cap though, so like it's hard to, unless like I talk to the team, it's really hard to work out anything. Someone said deep update about 𝗪𝗓𝗄. I really like 𝗪𝗓𝗄. I think their team has been super impressive since the Luna collapse. They've pivoted. They've launched multiple new products. I'll show you a few of their products. So they've got Orca. It's like their first product, which allows you to like liquidate assets with the click of a button on Cosmos. Then they've got an order book exchange. It's really cool. 𝗟𝗏𝗍𝗏, which is, what is 𝗟𝗏𝗍𝗏? It's new. Like some sort of AMM. Yes, this is their order book product. It's cool. It's cool. Pretty low leverage, but that's okay. You've got liquidity pools. They bring volume to Fin. Cool. It's like the liquidity providing site. No, they're impressive. I mean, a bet on 𝗪𝗓𝗄 is a bet on the team, right? At the end of the day, like any project, but their team's been really impressive. Also come down quite a bit, which is good. Good FDV too. Don't hate it. Don't hate it. Have you found a 10x investor before shilling? GNS, literally at $1 before it went to 11. So yes, you idiot. Okay, whatever. Dumb comment after dumb comment. Fantom's dev leader went on this block. I don't know what blockchain you're talking about. FYI. Okay, so Kevin from the Binance ecosystem DeFi lead obviously watched the show or is still watching the show. So, yo, what's up? We're working on Radiant's deployment on BNB. So multi-chain will be live soon. Okay, so we got a live update on the Radiant segment. So that'll be live soon on BSC, which is cool. Stables, stable zone. What is this? Stablecoin farm. Okay, I'm blocked, so fuck them. Might be because I'm using a VPN. Always got to protect yourself though. Link in the description if you want to do the same. Toko. Toko crypto. It's not even in English, so not interested. Moonwell. Not so interested. Chinese coins pumping again? Yeah, Filecoin almost looks like a good short soon. To be honest. 66.3 MA and yeah, give it a little short. CFX Look, this is a freaking shoddy trend line. By the way, it's not the greatest trend line I've ever drawn in my life, but yeah, doesn't look like a breakout to me. CTX broke below. I mean, a lot of these just look like shorts, honestly. But Cortex is like not the greatest. Let's look at like ACH. A lot of them like kind of like starting to like tick back up. Moonwell's great. Is it? Like for Moonbeam, no? Why not just buy Moonbeam? Why buy Moonwell over Moonbeam? Explain. And I do want to position myself in Moonbeam, but oh, this website's enough to put me off. It's too confusing. I don't know. Equilibrium Games. And yeah, I'm trying my best to get to everyone, but there's a lot of coins coming through. So it's hard to keep up. So I apologize. You might just need to keep spamming me until I get to something. All right. 𝗧𝗿𝗍𝗄𝗽. What do you think of this one? They've got a few games. What are they? A game studio? Crypto used to be. Yep. XRP Game Studio. I fucking. Nah, I'm not. You know what? You know what I'm not going to do? I'm not going to use my thoughts on XRP to shun a project. I'm not going to do it. But it's built on XRP. Ugh. Why is it built on XRP? Why? You could have picked Arbitrum or Fantom or Polygon or BSC, but you picked XRP. By the way, I had pizza tonight. I think there's a piece in the fridge. I'm getting starving again, so I'm excited for that. Coffee's starting to wear off, guys. I'm getting slow. It's like 2 a.m. I'm getting really freaking slow. Can't even think properly. Another coffee now would not be good either. I don't know. XRP thing turned me off, and I don't have the patience. Let's keep going. Ali's cool, but it's more of a trade because it's just pumped so much, like all the AI coins. Let's see how AI is doing. No McDonald's? Nah. I had McDonald's last night. I don't know why I keep doing this to myself. To be fair, I was at the casino, so you know, only option. Yeah, I mean, this looks like a short soon, if anything. But like, let's just look at some of the other ones though. FET. They've all bounced nicely. Ooh, FET looks like a decent long. All right, if it just pulls back a little bit, and this is all short-term trades, not like freaking aping, but you know, little bit of a pullback, get this crossover from the MA and the horizontal, then I think that's a good long to take it up 12%. So that's something I'd look at. You know, set your stop below, low leverage. Think you're chilling on that. It's all like you might lose some of these trades. It's all risk reward. Like that's the thing with trading. It's all just EV, right? Mr. DeFi from Spain is C. McDonald's is trash. I agree. The food's terrible. Apart from the nuggets are good. SNX ecosystem popping. I really like Lyra and I like SNX a lot. I showed the SNX chart earlier. It's here. These are my levels. How's Lyra doing? I freaking really like Lyra. It's options false. Yeah, whatever. McDonald's fries, yeah, they're good. You've said it like, to be fair, I did say spam, so I can't get angry at you for spamming. AI pad. 𝗟𝗗𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃 any longer than a week. But let me give you OpenAI. So they've just integrated ChatGPT. Why should I buy your project? AIPad token will be listed on PancakeSwap, Uniswap, and other sectors yet to be announced. When is launch? AIPad is already launched on the 1st of March. What does AIPad do? This is great. I don't even need to research. I just can ask. AIPad will change the way you invest forever. Oh, this is totally not biased. We want to see your excitement and creativity on full display. What does the protocol actually do? Protocol actually does nothing. It is a name for a set of rules for how chat works. Do you think the protocol actually does nothing is very encouraging? Dedicated to make AI accessible. No, I'm not joining your stupid Discord. I want to look at your Medium. Oh, you've got a TikTok, but not a Medium. Great. Great marketing. Really, got their priorities straight, this lot. The future's here. I hate that saying. They've like taken every cliche in the history of the world and written it. Guys, stop. Oh, if I ever made a project, I wouldn't just make it wishy-wash statements like ChatGPT industry insiders believe that. Like, just come on, get to the point. AI Launchpad, nah, it's shit. Sorry, bro, it's shit. It sucks. 𝗧𝗿𝗍𝗶𝗍, I think Ran has thoughts on that. I don't really have intense thoughts on it. I think he owns some Ran, so he must like it. I hate launchpads in general. Every time I've ever invested in a launchpad, it's been shit. Just invest in the token that you want. If you like airdrops, go buy like the ecosystem token, like Cosmos. Palm. Yeah, I don't really have thoughts on 𝗥2𝗏2. I don't have thoughts on everything. Like, red flag. Yeah, I don't like it. I'm gonna be always honest on this show. Ooh, yeah, Ran likes 𝗥2𝗏2. I just don't have an opinion. Someone said thoughts on Flex. Thoughts on Flex. I like it. I like Flex a lot. I wish it didn't pump though, because I didn't get to buy. But I'm 100% buying Flex. If you don't know what Flex is, it's basically like the coin for 𝗏𝗏𝗽𝗍𝗍's and Jushu's new exchange. Low-key like it, to be honest with you. I really like it. Ocean breaking out. Please don't lie to me. Please. Is it actually breaking? Actually breaking. Yeah, it just flipped nah, it's a shitty trend. This is a better trend. It just flipped horizontal level. So what you want to see is a successful retest to the upside. Probably going to take us up to the EMA, 7%. And then, yeah, big decision to make there. But yeah, a lot of these AI tokens are starting to run a bit. I still think AI has legs. It's so news-based. PYR, love it. One of my top 5 long-term gaming projects. I have long-term spot that I'm holding. That we basically nailed the entries in this zone. I mean, yeah, I don't need to collect too much clout for this anymore, but like that was literally a perfect, like that green line we drew before the whole thing happened. But it is coming back down again, actually. So I wouldn't start buying again until here. $3, 2 to 3. 2 to 3 is my long-term DCA zone. This zone here is my long-term DCA zone. And a lot of coins just aren't in my long-term DCA zones. They might be my trading zones, but I'm not long-term DCAing into like a heap of shit, especially not like gaming coins. So yeah, the fact it's losing momentum, it's bearish, looks bearish. If it retests, probably bearish. It looks shit, chart looks shit, but project's great. So fuck the chart. Long-term, I like it. I hold. I think it's good. One of the best gaming projects. Good team. 𝗏𝗏𝗍𝗍. Your thoughts on land? Land share. Someone said VeChain, 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 VeChain. Land share. Well, it's only 600k, so you guys are getting real degen, but we love it. We're degens here. We love it. Land share allows you to view your token holdings, trade on dexes and more. Was it like some sort of like wallet aggregator thing? Wait, what? Why is the description so different to their website? It's like really badly described. Invest in tokenized real estate. I mean, tokenized real estate's just... I'm yet to see this work. I'm happy to be proven wrong, but I'm yet to see it work. There's one project called PropChain, which I spoke to. I think they're the closest to making it work, but I don't think that project you just sent me is going to work because I just know this space. It's a very regulatory nightmare. Someone check Miles, check Rosie on before I go to sleep. By the way, nice avatar. I like your picture. It's cool. I like it. Rosie on finance. Okay. Quick description. Oh no, this is just I was wrong. It's just CoinGecko switched the order of the things. Explanations used to be last. Okay. CoinGecko needs to have better explanations. Land looks lame. Yeah, absolutely looks shit ass. Rosie on exchange. There's a lot of dexes I like. So the question is why this over others? That's the question. A lot of dexes I like. This is a phone app. This is terrible. This is fucking awful. I hope the app's better than the... I think it's a phone app. I think they've put the phone app on the computer. A gamified derivatives exchange. Is it Order Book or Oracle? It looks Oracle. No? It's Oracle based, no? It's Oracle based, no? Has to be. So why the fuck would I use that over Gains or GMX? Just use Gains. Much better UI. I mean, slightly higher fees, but also there's lots of good order books coming out. DYDX, like the thing is, like you don't need to invest in some of this stuff. You've got great options. By the way, BTC on the 1 minute chart just broke out. It's a 1 minute chart though. You've got great options, right? Like for dexes. DYDX, good order book. Apex, great order book. Got amazing AMMs. We talked about a few today. Some of the Solidly stuff happening's cool. Curve's cool. I mean, and then you've got amazing Oracle-based stuff too. SBF flip phone has better tech. 𝗏𝗍𝗄𝗽? Yeah, if you guys are banter, love 𝗏𝗍𝗃𝗍, like in the research group. I haven't heard much about it in a while. For some reason, I've forgotten what it does. It's like NFTs, right? Digital collectibles and they have like big partnerships, no? With like big like entertainment companies and stuff. Oofed. I like the chart purely from like an accumulation perspective. If you believe in this long term, this is definitely a DCA zone. Bit of dilution though. Probably maybe wait a bit longer, but like it's not a bad DCA zone if you believe in it. Now I can't tell you whether I believe in it now, but no, I have heard good things. Let's just see. Let's have a Coca-Cola partnership. General Motors. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I have a lot of partnerships. Disney partnership. That's VV though. What is VV? Digital collectibles. I'm guessing it's built on. How does 𝗏𝗍𝗃𝗍 interact with VV? So 𝗏𝗍𝗃 makes it? Yeah, I need to look into the tokenomics, but I like them. Thoughts on Fantom long term? Watch the interview I did with Michael Kong. I think there's high hopes. Andre is back with a vengeance. That's pretty bullish. Yeah, I think it's a cool niche chain, man. Might not eat Ethereum's lunch yet, but I mean, or ever, but nice niche, nice chain, good tech. So I like it. I think that's me for now. It's almost 3 hours in. It's late. I've got to do a couple things before I go to bed, and then I would love to sleep. What's my exit strategy? Something like a PYR, not until next cycle. Looks like I had some bruise there, but looks okay. Yeah, like I have exit strategies with my short-term stuff, but something like a PYR, I won't exit until like next cycle, basically. If it's a long-term hold. But yeah, short-term holds, obviously, I treat differently. I think that's me. I really appreciate everyone hanging out, though. We had a great stream, shared lots of alpha. I'm alphaed out. I'm tired, but I appreciate thoughts on ST. Yeah, I'm getting a lot of. I'm still getting projects. I'm sorry if I don't get to them. I'll try and answer them next week. I got to quite a lot. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Remember, there's links in the description to all the stuff we talked about. OKX, if you want the mystery box. We've also got KyberSwap, Bybit, BitGet, and also NordVPN, as well as Satin's Discord. Remember to join that for the airdrop. And that is that's it, I think. So yeah, I'm gonna head. What would you say? Kennel, dog pad. I don't like launch pads. I'll look at Kennel. This is the last thing I'm looking at. It's the last thing I'm looking at, though. Kennel Sphere or Kennel? It cannot be this. I don't know. Is it this? I'm not even interested, to be honest, with all this rubbish. I'm sorry. I can't. 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗫. Like, it's just ludicrous. Not rubbish. It's like a dog crate. Keeps your tokens safe. It's a sort of dog token. It's a safety protocol. Let me just connect my wallet again. I'm freaking glad this is a hot wallet because I've connected to about 10 freaking dApps already. And I just... I don't know. It won't let me connect to my wallet. It keeps saying, what network's it on? Ethereum. Look at the white paper. I don't know, bro. If I look at one more white paper tonight, I think I'm gonna like cry. But yeah, okay. Girly, okay. Look at update token, secure trust with support for 𝗙𝗵𝗄𝗃𝗃 projects, 𝗙𝗵𝗄𝗃𝗃 update tokens. $100 million, 5% burn tax. I don't know. I need to look at this when I'm like more coherent. But I don't know. I don't really have an opinion. Doesn't look great. Doesn't look... I mean, kind of looks bad, but doesn't look great. I don't know. Check the chart. Bro, you're asking a lot of me. I'm tired. Let a man sleep. Kennel. Chart is crazy. Is it? It looks standard. Looks like it pumped and then had a pullback. Well, if you're a real degen and you want to pump 𝗪𝗃𝗃𝗫𝗃 bags, then go ahead, long this breakout. But I certainly won't be. Tell you that much. But chart doesn't look crazy. Chart looks shit, but look, maybe there's an uptick about to happen. I mean, I don't doubt there probably will be. But yeah, that's just pure TA. All right. I'm going to love you guys and leave you guys. Thanks for hanging out. I will see you maybe soon. Don't know. I might have another video coming tonight. Actually, let me check my phone, see if that's the case. Not sure. Maybe not. At least tomorrow. At the very least tomorrow. All right. I will see you in the next one. Have a lovely day. Until then, peace out.